Here's to feeling good all the time.
My man.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, bud?
Good, man. Good.
I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Gotta get up on there. Gotta put that thing up in my mouth. You feel me? So there will be an intro video that'll play before this, but
Okay.
I don't know if the word influencer is that do you like that tag? I don't know.
So typically when people ask, because people do ask, like, what do you do for a living or whatever, I don't really like to say influencer, and if I do use that word, I always go influencer, just because it does sound a little bit, I don't know, I just don't like the way it sounds. Typically, I just say I do social media, and then if they ask more in depth, then I'll give like a little bit more, emphasis on fitness industry or whatever.
Yeah, man. Because when I think influencer, I think first of all, I think woman. I think like you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
I think like my first thought is like, yeah, okay, no, that doesn't fit you. I always say that you're a bodybuilder.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's fair. Because I mean, at the end of the day, with how things started, being completely, I guess, social media based, I would like as the years go on to be more known as a bodybuilder specifically, which obviously people who follow me know that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you could say both ways. Yeah, he does social media, but he's also making a career through bodybuilding. But
okay.
I would say as, the years go on, hopefully to be more so known as just like a competitive bodybuilder, if that makes sense.
Heck yeah, man. So Tristan, the bodybuilder.
Tristan the bodybuilder.
Yes, sir. How do you pronounce the last name? How do you say it correctly? Huseby.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would have said it correctly, but in my head, I always like think to myself like I over enunciate. No. It was actually Huseby in my head. I just wasn't going to shoot the shot because I didn't want to be wrong.
Yeah. No, fun fact actually. When I used to play sports in high school for a little bit, and one time when I was playing football, I guess the announcer is what it would be.
Yeah, so
he
PA
called
guy.
my name out. Yeah, and he said Tristan Houseboy. I was like, dude, there's no way.
That's what I was in like the 1800s. I was a houseboy. That's what I was.
Bro, I don't know how he took it and turned it into Houseboy from Huseby, but
hey man, because he was taking it to the house, boy. That's what it was, man.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Dude.
I'll let it slide for that.
So, and high school. So, did you go to the same like? What's your life, school life? You know what I mean? Growing up, how did this come all?
With school, so I mean, technically, I was born in Washington State,
West Coast, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I moved out, East Coast when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and pretty much grew up the rest of my life in Culpeper. So all of my schooling was here: elementary, A.G. Richardson to Floyd T, then to Eastern View for high school, and still stayed here for university as well at Christopher Newport for a couple years, and then dropped out. But yeah, I did most of my schooling here. Yeah.
They say the biggest brains drop out, man.
Yeah, dude.
You're in good company.
That is true, though. That is true. So I don't feel too bad about it. You know what I'm saying?
You shouldn't.
What is that, Steve Jobs or something like that?
There's a long list, bro. I'm pretty sure Jobs on there. Einstein, I don't know.
I just remember
maybe
watching.
Not Einstein. I don't think they would have let. I don't think they would have let Einstein build a nuke. They were like, nah, bro, we need a diploma.
Einstein's different, dude. But nah, I remember. I think I watched the Steve Jobs movie. I think he had one right about how the Apple started and whatnot. And I think I just recall that from the movie. I think he said that he had dropped out and then basically totally just went all in on Apple, and then it blew up to what it is now today, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude. Like, even the thing, I mean, we're recording this on an Apple iPhone, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, hey, shout out to Steve Jobs, man. Look
Shout
what you
out Steve, baby.
You got us here, brother, man. We appreciate you, Steve. Moment of silence for Steve, man.
Yo,
God bless his soul. He didn't believe in God. You know, there's a terrible
Really?
thing about Steve Jobs, right? Where they said, like, he didn't believe in God, and then on the very, like, his last word was like, oh God. Which I don't know exactly. Yeah, it's very morbid. We don't have to go there.
Right.
We can get back to, let's talk about what we came here to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about my man. So middle school, high school, elementary, that was all good. Like,
yeah, man. It was, I would say school was fun, man. Now looking back, I think sometimes I felt like, you know, I didn't, during school, you know, being that age and whatnot, I felt like I didn't like it. But now, being out of it, I look back and I remember all the fun times and stuff. And I'm like, damn, dude, I should have, you know, tried to enjoy it a little bit more, if you will. Because I remember I wasn't a big fan of school. You know, I liked the friends. I liked, you know, just having a good time. But as far as school went, like trying to get good grades and really focus up and whatnot, I didn't like enjoy that aspect of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, man. Like, I was one of those people who also, like, when I was in school, I thought the cool thing was to not be as plugged in. You know what I mean? Like, and it's funny now because I was talking to some young kids at the skate park, and they were like, nah, like, the cool thing is to be nerdy, like, to acquire as much information. I was like, I wish that had happened when I was younger. Like, I wish that was the cool path, because I think at the end of the day, I was just trying to be cool, you know? And that was the thing. Like, even the Johnny Cowabunga name was like, I always wanted to be rad. Like, I always wanted just to be like that. So, I mean, I relate to that in some ways, man. But so after that, you get to CNU, correct?
Yeah. But real quick, it is kind of crazy how, like, times change. You know what I'm saying? Like, things being cool back then, and then what's cool nowadays, and like how fads just go in and out. A lot of things do come back around, you notice, but I think that's funny how things change like that, you know?
Yeah, and it's because it definitely had to have happened before in the past, you know, like, you know, one of my favorite books is Ecclesiastes, man, and it says, like, nothing changes under the sun, and it's in Bible, Ecclesiastes, and it's such a true statement. Like, things will come in droves and waves, and then it's just like, as quickly as it came in, it's like it's right back out, and there's a whole new thing that's happening, but it's still the same old thing.
It's like that with everything. I remember when I first was doing social media, I started rocking a mullet, but it was kind of like a hybrid mullet. It wasn't the traditional mullet, but it was definitely a mullet, and everyone started doing mullets and stuff like that again. It became cool, and then, you know, I don't have one now, but it is so weird because, I mean, I know before that, having a mullet would have been weird. Like, in high school when I was growing up, if I would have rocked a mullet, everyone would have been like, dude, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And then later on, everyone started, not like everyone, but you know what I mean? It was a cool thing to do again.
I blame, there's two people. There's two people, man. There's Morgan Wallen, of course, who has now decommitted. And I don't know if there's quite a person with a better mullet than Theo Von. Like, Theo Von's mullet, I think
bro, I'm gonna need to see a picture of this. I do not know
I
this
will pull
mullet.
it up, bro. His mullet is beyond, like, it's a whole, like.
Is it the traditional mullet though?
No, dude. He went ahead and he actually got plugs to thicken up his mullet. I'm not lying, dude.
That's the real deal,
yo,
bro.
His mullet's thick, daddy. I'm talking about that thing but I couldn't ever commit. You know, I got black people hair, dude. So it's like
that would be kind of wild to see, bro.
I know,
that'd
man.
be kind of wild.
I'm pretty sure they have their own form of the mullet. It's something in Houston, Texas. They do this thing where I can't remember what it's called, like a boopa or something crazy. It has a weird name. Yeah, anyone from Houston's probably gonna disown me now because that's not what it's called, but that's what anyway.
The boopa.
It's something back there, dude. Well, they basically just Jerry curled the back of their head, and then they let that thing get wet, and then it just sops up the neck of their shirt, man. And I think
that looked good on you, man. What, you don't?
You think so?
No, I'm just playing.
Bro,
we don't need you rocking a boopa, bro. I like your hair right now.
Bro, you look good. So if I need to take advice from you, man, I will.
No.
I'll freaking cut these dreads off today. That'd be first pod, man. We cutting these dreads, man.
Nah, dude. If I could do something like that, I would, but I can't. You know.
Yeah, but you're doing well, brother. You're doing quite fine.
Actually, the last speaking of haircuts and whatnot, the last haircut I go to this barbershop near what is it? Like, you know where Little Caesars is?
Yeah. Over.
So Yeah, I switched it up, but I also like moved here somewhat recently, back in March, and I don't have a steady barber that I go to. Like down in Florida, I had a barber that I went to, a specific guy, had him do my hair every single time, and he knew what I wanted, and I never had a bad haircut, right? This last time, I went to this place over near Little Caesars, and I showed him a picture of what I wanted, and I don't really, like, this isn't a huge deal, but it totally did not end up like the picture at all, and basically just gave me very near close to a buzz cut.
Dang,
and
son.
I don't know if you saw it. But it was.
You were hiding that thing. You were hiding that because I didn't see it.
No,
man.
dude, I did not. But yeah, that was a bummer. So anybody, people, I don't know if you've ever had a bad haircut, like not what you wanted at all, and then you look in the mirror and you're like, I don't want to say anything to him because I don't want to be mean. But because what's done is done. Like
It's
if I
over.
tell you, like you screwed it up, like it's already. You're not gonna put the hair back on my head. It is what it is. So
Yeah, man. You just gotta rock
anyways.
that thing out, brother, man. Like, I mean, bro, you gotta commit and you gotta convince yourself almost in that moment that it does look good.
Yeah,
'Cause if not-
that's very true, bro. That's exactly what
Yeah.
it was. He's like, "Is this what you're looking for?" And I'm just like, "That's exactly what I was looking for. That's exactly what I was looking for." You're
That's
damn right.
mental toughness, brother. You're just mentally tough.
No, I
That's
really
all
just
it
started
is, man.
rocking a lot of hats after that, but
Like-
I like wearing hats actually.
Yeah,
That's-
I got one
I'm
on
a
right
hat guy
now,
for
dude.
sure.
Because my wife, before she was leaving out to go like do something, do wife work, and she looked at me, she's like, "What happened to your hair?" And I was just like, she's like, "Didn't you just redo it?" And I was like, all
Put
right.
the hat on.
That's my sign. I was like, maybe I should go put this hat on. Dude. I was like, thanks, babe. That was her first contribution to the pod, man. She got me straight. And this sofa. Every time I record, I steal her sofa.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like a big deal. Like she dreads it every single time because she knows.
Well, you gotta carry it down here.
Yeah, dude, by myself
Oh, dude.
every time. I mean, it comes apart.
That's why you're so swole.
It's cheap.
That's what it is.
It's cheap.
Carrying
Ignore
this
that
thing, yeah.
rushing water, dude. I
It's
let
not. It's
them-
kind of soothing. I like that.
It's got some ocean noise.
yeah.
Well, it's straight dookie water, I think, man. I'm pretty sure that's like a bathroom drink. It is what it is, man.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
That's what happens when you're potting out of your basement in your dungeon, bro.
I like
But-
it though, bro. It's like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I like it though. I like it.
I
Though.
appreciate you coming in, man.
Yeah, man.
And like, really, it does mean a lot because you're somebody that the first time I ever seen you actually was at Pal Wellness. Wasn't
Really?
even at Gold's. Yeah. And I remembered because I was like, okay, that's the largest dude I think I've seen in Culpeper. Like, I was like, this dude's freaking yoked, right? And but from that moment, like, I was like, all right, that's who that person is, whatever, like,
Yeah.
And then I went to Gold's. I started going to Gold's. This was like a bit time later, and dude, you, Dietrich, and Zach,
Mm-hmm.
like, I was just kind of doing my thing, new to the area, man. But y'all were always just so welcome. It didn't matter, like. It feels good to be like I'm fit, I'm in good shape. But when the most yoked dude tells you like, hey, bro, like you're doing work, I'm like, dang, man, and it's just, dude, you've always had like such a personality of being an includer
Right.
that it feels good that I get to include you into something, and then in return you're including me into your own life, and into
Yeah, man.
your because what you've built, man, is very impressive. Like, and I don't know too much of how it all came about,
Right.
So if you want to go and talk about that a little bit, man, but what you've built is awesome, and I'm glad that I can support you in any way. And I'm also super interested. Like,
Right,
how
right,
did
right.
how did you become what you are today, man?
Well, it's funny because I don't know. Like I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. Like if I had to redo everything that I've already done in terms of trying to get the following and impact people the same way that I did or whatever, could I do it again? And I was like, dude, it's so hard to just explain with one sentence or something to how I got exactly where I am today. You know what I'm saying? Because people ask me all the time, right? Like they'll DM me and message me like, hey, do you have any tips or things on how to get where you are now? Like I want to do fitness content where I want to, impact people in that way through social media. How do I get here? And it's just such a hard thing to answer because it didn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just so many things done consecutively and consistency that somehow added up to now being where
Yeah.
I am. But there are some things that I know for sure made a difference, right? Because before, everything kind of came about, I knew I always wanted to do social media. Like I knew I loved I always had a passion for fitness, bodybuilding, and that type of thing. So for me, I always knew I didn't want to work a normal job. That nothing is wrong with working a normal job, 9 to 5, whatever you want to call it. But for me, I just always felt like I had to do something different, or I wanted to be able to do something different because I saw other people doing it. I knew it was possible. I just didn't know how to do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically what it came down to is, we were talking a little bit about this earlier, but I think I was around 21 years old at the time, still living with my parents. And, it was, just becoming very obvious that time was of the essence. I definitely was not, I had no social media presence at the time other than just having, your friends or whatever that follow you on Instagram.
Yeah. And working out wise, like.
That was always going strong. I started that, I guess, at 14 years old. And so that was going on behind the scenes, right? Because I always had a passion for bodybuilding and training and whatnot. So I was doing that regardless, and definitely would still be doing that regardless of social media today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So thankfully, I guess all the work that I had been putting in over the years, by the time I started doing social media, I had kind of something to show for it. Like, clearly I went to the gym, clearly I lifted, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it was strictly hobby.
Yeah,
like,
that was strictly
even
hobby.
your employment, because at the time you were doing a 9 to 5, but it had nothing really to do with fitness.
No. I mean, I did, when I dropped out of CNU, what we were talking about earlier, I did start a lawn and landscape business because I knew being in college wasn't what I wanted to do. Just to graduate, have a bachelor's degree, which nothing is wrong with a degree either, but just so I can work a regular job that everyone else is doing. I knew I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something different. So for me, I didn't know how to get where I wanted to, but I knew what I currently was doing was the wrong thing. So let me try something else, because doing the same thing I already know is wrong isn't going to get me there. So I dropped out of college and I started a lawn and landscape business. I literally started with a push mower. Me and my friend Bryce Henry, shout out, bro, if you see this. We literally started with a push mower and ended up getting all the way to the point where we had, trailers, 2 0 turns, and all kinds. Like, I remember, a push mower and a weed eater, and we would trade off. We started just flyering everywhere around Lakeview and, different neighborhoods and whatnot. And we would just take our truck that I had, that my grandfather had given me when I was younger, and we started using that to just start picking up a couple jobs here and there until it started actually taking off to be something that was, pretty solid compared to where it started with a push mower and weed eater,
bro. So it was like, even from an early age of being in college, young college, you decided to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
And not even knowing what it would turn into, but like to make that call and basically say, hey, this ain't it, bud.
Yeah.
And that has to be hard because, like, at our age, like, that was the path to success. Like, you get good grades, you go to college, you graduate college, and then you do whatever.
And that's what, I mean, I think that's what most people would agree with. I think that's most parents would agree with. So thankfully for me, my parents didn't, I mean, they supported me, super supportive. And I have to thank my parents because I wouldn't be where I am today without them, because they always kind of believed in me and let me lead my own life. If I wanted to try something, even if they didn't agree with it, they let me do it. You know what I'm saying? And so many parents push back against what their kids want to do because it seems too, not in line with what their views are. Thankfully, my parents were willing to kind of support and say, okay, if you want to do this, we'll let you try it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I did and still do care a lot about what my parents think. You know what I mean? I always wanted to, essentially make them proud. So if they had pushed back too hard, I don't know if I really would have followed through. So I know when people come to me and they ask, how do you get to where you got to and whatnot, a lot of them do have that, where their parents don't exactly, you need to go to college, you need to get a degree, you need to do this. And they push back against what they want to try and do. And, it's hard. It's easy for me to say.
Oh, bro's in the pod. Bro's getting motivated. Bro, you were starting to move the room, dude. Even the dog came in and was like, hey, I'm trying to get up in this, man.
He's like, yo, what's going on, man?
Man, look,
this guy.
There goes the mascot.
What was I saying? Basically, as far as
your parents supporting you. Here, I'm going to get him out of the way. Let me get him. Come on, Brody. Come on, Buster. You got to go, bud. You got to go. Out of here.
He's nice, fluffy, and cute, though.
He is. looking back at me. Now he's gonna start jumping on the handle. And open the door. There's the door. It won't catch it and salt and already up.
Nah, it's all good, man. So
We can leave that in just
I
so
just-
people get
yeah,
acclimated
yeah.
to Brody, because that's gonna happen. As long as this pod's happening, that dog is gonna keep wrecking it. You know.
Yeah, dude.
But,
yeah.
But like, I'll let you finish what you were saying.
So, man, but yeah, big thanks to my parents and stuff being so supportive. I think because if you have something you really want to do, just because your parents don't agree with it and whatnot, like I get what it feels like to want to make your parents proud and not disappoint them. But not everyone is going to see your vision, so sometimes you have to just send it, regardless of them being, potentially against what you want to do. It doesn't mean what you want to do is wrong. It may feel like it because these people are pushing back against, what it is you're trying to do, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means what you're trying to do is probably, it's kind of far out, in terms of what most people would perceive as, possible or likely to be able to accomplish and whatnot.
And it's very different. Like even the occupation that you first decided to start investing your time into, you always had your hobby, which and passion was
Right.
working out in the gym.
Definitely.
And it's cool to see how you had the right mindset, which then aligned with your passion, and then kind of forged its own path into a culture really of the gym that did not exist. Like
Right.
realistically, bro, I don't know. Even today, there's a lot of people who are trying to become like a media influencer or a gym, whatever
Right.
you want to call them. There's not a lot of people who are successful at it. So for you to be one of the first, you're like OG. Bro, you're an OG at this point. You know what I mean? When I think about people who I even follow on, I don't have a lot of people that I do follow in general, and in the fitness world, you've been on that list of people for as long as I've kind of gym
Right.
culture has kind of started to explode. Which
So it
bro, you
depends-
might have had a big influence in blowing this thing wide open out here, huh?
Potentially, right? Maybe, but the thing is, so I've been, kind of into the scene before I was actually involved in it for a while. So the people that I consider OGs would be maybe you don't even know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always watching and into the whole social media side of things with fitness before it was cool. Because you're right, now it's a cool thing. Everybody goes to the gym. You know what I mean? It's a cool thing to do. When I was doing it just as a hobby and whatnot, it wasn't a cool thing to do. When I was watching it on social media, the original people I can think of, like Christian Guzman, Bradley Martin, some of those guys, it wasn't the cool thing. And don't get me wrong, they clearly did inspire people and whatnot, but it wasn't to such a large scale that it is now today with TikTok and all of these social media platforms totally blowing the gym culture into this massive cool thing to do now. It wasn't like that though back, when we were in school and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's cool to even hear because you're my OG, right?
Right.
And it's funny because you're younger than me, but
Right, right,
you know what I mean?
right.
But you're one of my OGs. To hear your list of OGs is I didn't even realize that. So I obviously know Bradley Martin from Full Send, but
right.
I wasn't aware that he kind of got to the Full Send level because he was in the gym. I know he's a big body,
Right.
you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
realize that was he was in there kind of being like a who's the guy who passed away? Joe Aesthetic.
Joe Aesthetics, yeah.
Yeah, so he was almost like that kind of.
Yeah, Joe Aesthetics I would consider as another OG for sure, actually, yeah.
Yeah. I remember when he passed away, bro. It was
Yeah.
I could
Dude.
see it in your eyes that was
Dude, yeah, that one
that
hit
was-
me different for sure. And don't get me wrong, anyone who passes away within the industry and stuff, I care a lot about, fitness and all of that kind of thing. So it does hit me. But for some reason, when Joe Aesthetics died, you look at him, he looks just extremely healthy, super great guy. Just
Yeah.
you feel his energy when you watch his videos. So
Yeah.
it's when he passed away, I didn't realize how much, I was actually kind of gonna miss him because I used to watch his stuff all the time, and you didn't think about how much it really impacted you until you realized you would never be able to watch it again. I was like, damn, his stuff
Yeah.
was he was a super cool dude. That guy for sure was probably one of the guys I should have mentioned when you asked, or when I was talking about OGs, Bradley Martin, Christian Guzman, Joe Stetics. These were all guys that, probably started the whole wave, really.
And it's I know it has to hit a little bit different, especially because like you are in the industry, you know. So it's like I remember when Sean Taylor, safety for the Redskins, passed away, and I was a football player. Like, and I did not like the Redskins. I wasn't but like for whatever reason, it was because like I knew the amount of, and I was really young, but like you just know the sport, you know, and you just know what goes into it. You know the amount of investment, and so when those type of people pass on, it's like, man, like I don't revert to thinking like that could be me. Like I don't think I was never gonna be Sean Taylor, bro. I'm 5'7", all right, and I'm like a $155. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're on the creatine cycle like 162. You know what I mean? But dude, like it's one of those things where it's like you understand the amount of effort, the work, and the inspiration he gave you. You know?
Definitely, yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's a good comparison, I would say, because obviously being involved in the sport of, or glorified hobby, whatever you want to call it, of bodybuilding.
Dude, that's your humility showing there. Because it is, I've seen you work out. It's a sport. Like, trust me, y'all. It's a sport. Like, I've seen it firsthand. And I've thought to myself each and every time, I'm like, yeah, that can't do that. Like, no, 0% chance.
Don't sleep on this guy, bro. Don't sleep on this guy. No.
This doesn't have
every time I see it, bro, dude, to be honest, I would say, as a natural, you've probably got one of the best physiques I've seen, like, in person, to be honest.
I appreciate that. Wait till I get on the sauce. Wait till the day comes, bro. I've been plotting these days,
dude. Because like, nothing beats, like, because you talk about being like 155 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, speaking from a bodybuilding standpoint, when we're talking about like shape and insertions and things like that, your 155 on your frame looks really fucking good. And I'm not going to turn this into like a specific bodybuilding podcast, but just speaking from a bodybuilding standpoint, you have like really good insertions. So if you ever did pursue something like that, how tall are you?
5'7".
So I mean,
5'6" and a half, all right, but
I could definitely see you doing it. Like, like actually.
I appreciate that, dude, because I think like, I get motivated by guys like you, you know? I don't want to turn this into positive politics. You know, politics are much like, oh, I'm a better person than this guy. And then this person's like, no, I'm better than this guy.
Yeah.
Then you got positive politics. We're like, no, bro, like, you're the guy. And then, you know, like,
we just keep going back and forth. I know what you mean.
But, like, you're one of the guys that, you know, I always joke around with Amber, my wife, whenever I get home from the gym, and she's like, oh, you were there for a while. I'm like, yeah, because Tristan was there. So I was motivated.
Like, you lying right now.
This is a factual statement. I will record her. This happens, dude, because I'm like, she thinks it's hilarious because it's like, I don't know, when you get married and you're kind of like focused on you're dialed in on your things, the gym bros are what motivates you, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe back in the day you thought that, you know, the women were gonna like come over and ask you how do you get your chest that big? No, that's not happening.
Not at all, bro.
You know, but
that's facts though.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I got married before getting into the gym. I would have been very disappointed. But
yeah, nobody cares about the gains and stuff as much as, you know, fellow gym bros and all that type of thing. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Well, and so I don't want to shift gears too hard here, man. But so when you still focused on the gym, right, and like all of that life, but like being that being dialed into social media platforms and posting things and like giving so much of yourself, do you find it kind of like exhausting at times? Like, do you ever feel like because you give a lot, man, and your videos bring a lot of energy, and you know, and you're finding new creative ways to kind of get a message across, and you're allowing people to tap into your life and your habits and things like that. Like, does it ever get like exhausting for you?
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things you don't realize it's catching up to you until it catches up to you, type of thing. Because I feel like that's something I've been dealing with recently. Is when I took a vacation recently with the family. We went down to Virgin Islands. It was really cool. Really cool. Awesome. Definitely recommend if you guys haven't been. But, you know, it was a little bit before that. I was just extremely, I guess, gassed out a little bit. Like I didn't have the creativity that I did have. I didn't feel like posting like I had once wanted to post and whatnot. And I just decided to take, I think it was like 2 weeks off or something, where I really just wasn't posting at all. And which I was kind of nervous to do, because in my head I'm thinking, well, what if you stop posting and then people, aren't watching when you come back or whatever. But it was definitely necessary, because once I got back from vacation and whatnot, I kind of started getting that feeling back again.
Okay.
I wanted to actually, start posting again and whatnot. But to answer your question, it does kind of get exhausting, and there's still some things, and I don't think I'm the best at what I do by any means. But speaking from the experience that I do have, it does get exhausting. And I think, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. There was something I was going to say.
Well, I wanted to chime in there and say, you're maybe not the best. I don't think it's hard to kind of, it turns into a pissing competition at some point, because it's like, who's the best? But you're definitely great. You know what I mean? Like
Thank you, bro.
You're great at what you do, man. And is there so when the exhaustion starts to happen, I think like at times maybe like other outlets can help right the ship almost to remotivate. Like I'm really excited for if and when you decide to start a podcast, because I think yeah, dude, I think like it would be a great outlet to kind of get you into something that's different but the same, and you have interesting things to say. You've obviously put in some great supplementation into your life that has made positive results out of it. Like, so you obviously have stuff to give. Right. And then you were even talking about like getting a clothing line.
Yes. Yeah. So that's still in the works. Technically, we have everything set up in terms of the business side of things, tax side of things. But for me, so basically, we're gonna try to focus on just pump covers first. The brand is going to be called You versus You. But the thing with
I feel that way because I got schizophrenia.
Yo, that might be a shirt idea, bro. That might be a shirt idea. That's funny.
I'm just in there, bro. I love that. Y'all, I need it all. I need small, medium, large. If I grow extra large, I need all that. Run it up.
I got you, bro. I'm going to make a shirt just for you, to be honest.
Yeah, man. Pump covers.
So pump covers. And basically, I do actually have the shirts right now that I was going to release, but I changed my mind, because for me, I guess I do overthink it a little bit, but I really want the quality and everything to be kind of perfect. I want to make sure when the shirt comes in, I would put it on, I'm like, holy shit, I love this. This is super cool, because I know if I am not infatuated with it, my audience probably won't be infatuated with it. So I want to make sure I'm actually just genuinely impressed with the quality of the shirt, the way it fits and everything before I release it. So I keep thinking it's going to be like around the corner when it launches. I thought I was going to be doing it this month, which maybe it still will be, but I don't know exactly. It'll be very soon, but I want to make sure I love the product that I have before I launch it. And
that's great. That's great for integrity purposes. You know what I mean? It shows like, I think when you do things and you actually care, you're down to ride it longer. Like you're like because you actually care, man. So and when it does come, we'll push it. Whatever audience. I got an audience of about 2.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, man. We're doing it for. It's really just me and Brody. We're out here, just me and the dog.
No, I love it, bro.
Holding it down. I love it. But yeah, man, I'll buy it. Rock it. That's the only thing I'm gonna wear to the gym now. But so the name itself, You versus You, how did that whole idea get birthed in like?
So, well, my dad actually is the one who kind of came up with because we were talking about, what do we want the brand name to be? Because we obviously want it to be something that resonates with me, something that makes sense. Like why, I don't want it just to be random. Like, yeah, you could think of some cool names, right? But at the same time, I want it to be like, when I say it, I feel like it somehow pertains to me. It makes sense. Like why I would be picking this brand name. So I've always kind of kept my circle really small in terms of friends and things like that. I'm just very close knit. I guess, what is it? I never was the guy who would just try to have this like massive group of friends or whatever. I always felt like if anything, if I didn't really have friends. I would just kind of do everything myself, if you will. Like this kind of sounds cringy if I'm being honest, but I feel like I've always kind of had the lone wolf mentality. I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's
not
like,
cringe. I think it's a very real.
Like you at the end of the day, you
personality.
really, like, don't get me wrong. You have your family, you have your close friends and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you really only have you as a person who's gonna make you like get to where you want to be. You know what I mean? You can have these people who kind of breathe positivity into you and inspiration into you and tell you can do these things, but it's left on you to actually carry out that plan. So you versus you is going to be not only about the gym, but leveling yourself up financially, spiritually, obviously in the gym and whatnot.
Of course.
But it's just you versus you trying to make it a mentality. So every day, I don't know exactly the percentage we want to say, but it's about getting a percentage better every single day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not you versus anybody. Essentially, if you are focused on yourself and just trying to be better than you were yesterday every single day, you're bound to become successful, really.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, that even preaches to your story of how you bet on yourself, you know, because that's a very you versus you mindset, because, like, it's countercultural, you know. Culture says, like, kind of what we were talking about earlier, is like, you go to college, you get the job, and then you do whatever. I don't know. I didn't do that, so I don't really know what.
Right.
There's some people out there that are crushing it and whatever, but I don't want to get into all that. But yeah, so it's like it's cool to see that you're actually making a brand that resembles who you were then and even who you are now. Like, you know, going into, because the gym is such a place where you can have a really good workout or a really bad workout, and nothing changes except for yourself. Like, it could be the same chest day routine, or the same, you could have had the same meals that day, but yet it's like, if you don't kind of like wrestle those demons in your own head and decide that you're gonna, you know, strive to be something better. And I especially like the fact that you even tied spirituality into there too, because I mean, there's a whole lot of different. I'm a Bible beater, dude. I love Jesus. I love the whole, like, people say whatever they want, dude. I love the concept of it. I love the redemption story. He went to the grave for 3 days and like kicked Satan's ass. It's like, what, dude? It's like, yeah, like that's a badass story. Say what you want, dude. Like, but that story's just great. It's a perfect story, you know. Yeah. And so like for you, how do you, because the gym is such a physical demanding thing, and it produces results that are very, you can see them, you know? But, like, as far as, do you have anything that, like, you listen to, or, like, other ways that you try to grow, like, as an individual, or even maybe even, like, musically, you know? Sometimes, like, I'm a big music guy. Rest in peace. Jimmy Buffett died today. I was not
Today?
Yeah, dude.
What?
I hate to break that news to you.
Well, it's not funny, but like, dude,
you just
what
laughed
the hell?
at Jimmy.
I'm
no,
sorry,
no,
bro.
we'll cut that.
It was just so unexpected. You know, it's everybody has their kind of. You've heard that, right? Where some people, this is off topic, but you know how, like, have you ever kind of like you heard some bad news or something, and you respond in a way that you wouldn't have expected yourself to respond? Like, maybe you don't cry.
Oh yeah.
But you almost are like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you might. I don't know how to explain it.
When I looked at it on my phone this morning, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
And then I chuckled.
Yeah.
Because, like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It was,
like,
and especially because the picture they had of Jimmy Buffett, which was like him margarita in a cheeseburger, and I'm like, that's the most Jimmy Buffett way.
the
I'm
most
like,
Jimmy Buffett thing
like,
ever.
Yeah, I'm like, hell yeah, rip Jimmy Buffett, man. But like I found that for me, music even kind of puts me in a mood to of growth almost. I don't know. Like, I feel like I have good perspective when I got good music.
Right.
So, yeah, I know, like, and I read books and stuff, too. But, like, what do you, like, how do you kind of do that, I guess?
So, basically, like, outside of the gym, what are some things I kind of do to kind of, I guess, improve my mental, if you will? Like, try to...
Yeah, mental, or even just, like, not to go too deep even into that side of things, but, like fun, you know, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as far as fun, that's easy. We were talking about games earlier.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But real quick, I guess, real quick, that's one thing I think I need to get better at is, you're talking about like reading books and stuff. Like I barely read books ever. Yeah. If anything, I would like listen to podcasts or something, but to be honest, I don't even do that enough. I think because I think there's things that, you can listen to podcasts about all kinds of things nowadays. You know what I mean? So say, it's something that you're just interested in that you don't know much about, but you want to improve your knowledge in that area. Yeah. You can listen to a podcast about it or something. I think that's what I would opt to do over reading a book, just because that's more my style. Yeah. But
and it's certainly easier too. Like I read now because I wanted to kind of challenge myself almost. I don't know. Like I'm reading a Robert E. Lee book. It would be 100 times easier to listen to it. Right. But I don't know. I'm weird. So I'm like, no, I don't know. I chose.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like I don't think people should agree with it. Like I don't like definitely just listen to the book. But I'm a psycho, so I'm like, no, read and struggle.
my girl would agree with that. She likes to read, but I'm just not. I
read a whole chapter last night. I have no idea what happened.
That was my issue with reading, bro. Yeah. That was my issue with reading is I would read, but I wasn't like, what is the word? It wasn't sticking. I would read it and then retain. It just goes in and out. You know what I'm saying? And not retaining
I struggle,
anything.
Bro, and I'm still just going. I'm just hammering down. I'm like,
you can get to the whole book and not even know what happened, bro.
Damn right. But you know what? I'll get on this microphone. I'll be like, I've read Robert E. Lee.
Yo. Nah, but speaking in terms of where I would like to allocate my time a little bit more outside of the gym and whatnot, is I think doing stuff like that would be nice. I just don't do it enough. You know what I mean? Yeah. But as far as fun goes, I like to ride motorcycles. Man. You got a Harley Davidson shirt here right now. I was riding earlier, actually.
Heck yeah, man.
I love cars.
Yeah.
So I do love cars. Dude. I love speed. I like to go fast. So things like that.
I'm just hyped
I like
up,
that
boy.
type of stuff.
I do like it, but I don't have it. So
really, bro, we gotta take you for a ride in the Jag.
Oh,
or
bro.
the M4.
Just windows down.
Yeah. It's a fun
down,
time, bro.
Hammer it.
It's a fun time. It's a really fun time, and
that's awesome.
Gaming's fun. Honestly, I hadn't had a game that I got into for a while until I was waiting for Starfield to come out. You know what Starfield is?
No.
What? Have you ever played?
Sorry,
you know what
bro.
Skyrim is?
Yes.
Okay.
I played Skyrim on PlayStation 4. PlayStation 3. 4.
Okay. So you know Fallout. Yeah. Or you know Skyrim. You know Fallout?
Oh, yeah. No. Well, see, as much as Oblivion, Skyrim.
You know Oblivion?
Yeah. Those were, but.
Bro, I love those games.
Okay.
I absolutely love those games.
But I did not finish them.
Bro, so you don't like them too much, no?
Well, I loved it, but I got stuck on a quest trying to find some potion, bro. And then also in Skyrim, I just built a big dude who had heavy armor, I guess. And then it was I couldn't run away, and it was a train wreck. It was.
All right, fair enough.
I'm not good at them, so I just play jarhead games like Call of Duty.
That's fair.
And I grew up playing sport games too. So
okay,
but now I have a freaking gaming PC, and my lobbies are nutso, so I don't even. Yeah, it's too difficult. But so Starlight. Starlight's Wi-Fi.
Same people who made Skyrim, Oblivion, Fallout, all that. So it's a new IP. It's a total different type of game. That they've done. It's pretty cool.
Take me into this. We got warlords, or we got.
It's basically it has to do with space, planets, and spaceships and shit like that. It's kind of it's not like Star Wars, but. Yeah, it's not like Star Wars, actually, now that I think about it.
Dude, you got a little bit of nerd in you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, bro.
Yeah, bro. Well, the thing is, I used to be, it's been a while since I got into a video game. But I knew I was waiting because I've been a huge fan of Fallouts, Skyrim, all that, Bethesda Studios. So I knew I wanted to play their new game. So I was waiting for this. And Sasha likes video games too, actually. So I specifically went out and bought an Xbox for her so she could play it. Yeah. And I ended up playing a little bit on the Xbox as well, but I have a PC too. So I might just end up playing on the PC.
Dude, that's where did you find a girl who likes video games? Where did you
I know.
Were you at a Comic-Con or something?
I know,
where did y'all
I got lucky.
Up?
I got lucky because I feel like that's every guy low key kind of wishes their girl was into video games like that.
Yeah.
And
hardcore.
It's kind of funny that she actually is. She's not the best at them. So like I watch her play, and like she does things that I wish I'm like I kind of like want to correct her. You know what I'm saying? Like why would you do that? But it's still she likes playing it. The passion is there.
Yeah, I like
the interest is there. So like, but she does like the
That's
games. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I kind of got lucky on that one. But there was fun fact. I used to play this game called Ark. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
Ark Survival Evolved.
Nope.
Don't get into it. All right.
Is it hardcore?
Is it hardcore?
Like hard.
It's ridiculous. It's one of those games. It's like if you get offline, you can get your base rated, and so it's one of those like you feel like you need to be on 24/7.
Oh my gosh.
You need to feel like you feel like you need to be on 24/7. So I have over I think 3,000 hours in that game.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dude. What's that translate to years?
I don't even want to know.
Years you've been
I
in
remember.
there?
I think it was when I looked at because Sasha. I told Sasha about it. My girlfriend. I told my girlfriend about it, and she was. I was like, "Is that unattractive?" She's like, "I mean, it's not. You know."
It's not unattractive. That's a terrible question to ask, man. Like, that's a question.
I was just messing with it. I knew. I was like, "It's terrible." And then she calculated how much it was. I think it ended up being like 7 months. And I was like,
man. That's almost a
7
pregnancy, bro. That's almost a whole pregnancy.
Dude, it's terrible. It's terrible. I can't believe I spent that much time on a video game. But
dude, it's also like it's one of those things where it's like, man, you could be doing so much worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I like to think about it, bro. That's how I like to think about it.
I used to be a drug addict, dude. I'm like, bro, 7 months. I used to spend 7 months looking for an 8-ball.
Right. Hey, gaming ain't so bad anymore, bro.
No, dude, I was snorting talcum powder, dude. I was just out there wild. But so yeah, I'm like, I will never. People like to talk a lot of crap about people who game or like people who like have weird hobbies or like even like those furries. Now, I'm almost sure if you are a furry, you probably drugs go with that.
Yeah, the furries are the people that are like really, I mean, weird. Let's be honest. It's very weird.
It is. And I think they know that. There's
I don't know, bro.
Bro, there's no if there's a furry listening, first of all, I would love for you to come sit on the couch. We
want you on, bro. We want to get you on.
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to see what this is all about.
What is this about, for real?
Because I don't know what they do. I know they put a costume on, and that's it. They exist, and they just put the costume on.
But is this, like, sorry, not to interrupt, but the furries, is this a lifestyle? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Or is this, like, something they do for an hour of the day? Or is this, like, they identify as a furry? You know,
it might be an identity thing.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm serious,
identity,
bro.
Yeah. I feel like that's what makes it a furry. If not, you're just a LARPer. You know, like if you're just doing it,
that's
like
true.
yeah.
A LARPer, yeah.
There's levels, and I think furry is life, and then LARP is like occasional, which is like. I don't even consider LARPing. I just think it's a thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people have been LARPing for. Look at the people who do like Civil War things. You know.
Yeah.
They're LARPers.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's different for sure.
Honestly, I'd LARP a couple times.
I might LARP low key.
Yeah,
just like
dude.
not post.
If you had to LARP, no, I'm GoPro in that, man. I'm like, if you were to LARP, what would you be? Like, what would your
maybe like the can't you do with like swords and knights and shit like that? That's probably what it'd do.
Oh, you would go King Arthur.
Yeah,
King Arthur.
Yeah. Because I mean, some of the LARPing people they actually go at it and like they'll have battles. You know what I'm talking about?
You
didn't know that?
No.
So that's when I hear LARPing, that's the people that I knew actually here in Culpeper. I'm not going to name names just because I don't know if they want to be known as LARPers, but they did LARP and they had battles amongst each other and they dressed as knights and shit,
that's
dude.
Bad, bro.
Yeah, and they actually did it here in the park. So
wait, like
Yale Meadow, I think it is, right?
No,
the one here in yeah, where they're doing like construction right now, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, bro, it's pretty serious.
We should do this.
LARP?
We should
you want to LARP? A 1v1?
Yeah, we should LARP.
1v1
no, hell
right
no.
now.
You're
bro.
on my team. You are on my team. There's no way I'm going against you, brother. No. There's weight classes in LARPing, right? Like I'm not like I'm a featherweight.
But we're using weapons though. We're using weapons.
Ooh, if I had to have a weapon and a King Arthur, I want the ball with the spike.
Yeah,
it's probably not the best, but
no,
like there's
but
something.
it looks scary. Like I may not even like try to fight you because I'm kind of scared about that thing swinging.
I'll hit you from range, boy.
I actually just thought of something. You know what would be fun? LARPing, Star Wars. You know Star Wars? I feel like doing like Jedi
I'm
lightsabers.
A big Star Wars guy.
Yeah, dude, lightsabers would be fun.
Oh yeah, that would have to be my answer then.
Yeah.
If I had to LARP, it would be Star Wars, and I would be Jar Jar Binks. That's what I'd go. I wouldn't even go for like anybody who is relevant, like
Jar Jar is relevant though, low
I mean, kind of.
But everybody knows, like, if you're a Star Wars fan, you know Jar Jar Binks, bro.
For sure. But
so
like,
he's
they
got
did
his
him
relevance.
dirty in the films, though. Like,
that is true.
Have
That
you
is
ever gone
true.
back and watched any of those Star Wars? They are
it's
so
funny,
bad.
bro. It's funny though.
I don't know how. I think
you catch certain things later too when you watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah?
Like when you if you go back and watch, I feel like, how long has it been since you watched? Because I went back recently, like very recently, like this year, and watched. Yeah, and I feel like when I went back and like you'll hear certain quotes or certain things they say. When I watched when I was younger, you don't realize, like, you pick up on what. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like there's what is that called?
Innuendos.
Like yeah, when they actually there's a different meaning. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I need to go back and
Pretty
watch
sure
that.
Jar Jar had a couple. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, Jar Jar was a freak, bro. Jar Jar was a furry the whole time.
Yo, dude, that's funny as shit.
Yo, dude, Jar Jar, man. But I did like, so Star Wars was up your alley? Like that was one of your.
My parents were huge. Well, my dad was a huge Star Wars fan, so growing up, he got me into that off
Me
the
too.
E, bro.
Me too, dude.
Off the E.
My dad, my stepdad. I call him my dad. He is my dad, but like he was like the epitome of a cool nerd. Like, I don't know when they started. I guess in the 70s, because that's when he was born. But they started this cool nerd thing. Like, my dad had like an Eclipse with like bassed out speakers. He had a motorcycle. Like, he had a Yamaha R1. He had R7 too. Yeah, dude.
He was moving.
But he was a nerd. Like, so it was crazy. It was
that's
like
that's the definition of a cool nerd.
Yeah,
right
dude, it was
there.
an anomaly. It was almost like, you ever seen that movie Revenge of the Nerds?
I know what you're talking about, but I've never seen it.
I think my dad was watching that and getting pumped. Like, you were watching Joe Aesthetic.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. My dad was watching.
He was watching Revenge of the Nerds,
Revenge
bro.
of the Nerds. It was like, yeah, buddy, wait till I. And that's and like, because my mom is way cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, like, how did my dad?
How did this happen?
Get with like mom? Because like, then it dawned on me. I was like, because he's based, bro. Because he's freaking. Yeah, man. And he does cool stuff now. Like, he works on like with drones. I don't even know if I could say all this, but he does like he'll tell me some stuff, and I'm just like,
does he work for the government?
oh yeah,
Okay.
Oh yeah. He's in the West Coast, right? I don't want to use specifics. He's in the West Coast right now of America, not far west. He's not like in Russia.
Like,
I
got you, bro.
Like, yeah, but he's way cool. But so
That's
Star
sick.
Wars, your dad, he kind of got you. Into that,
bro.
Man. What else? What else is your dad like kind of influence you in, man?
I feel like a lot of things. I feel like growing up, I always wanted to be like my dad. So I feel like a large majority of things he was into, to be honest. But motorcycles, definitely, because he was into motorcycles and stuff, so that definitely influenced me. Like growing up, and then if he had a motorcycle, obviously, I also grew up riding dirt bikes and stuff. So I was kind of, I feel like, bound to kind of get into it.
I envy that life, man. I can't even. I don't know how to use a clutch. So,
really?
Yeah, man, it's bad.
Bro, we can teach you, bro. That's easy. You got it. You can learn like in a couple minutes, bro.
All right, man. I'm giving you mad content out here, dude. Like, we can just start saddling up different things. Be like,
oh yeah,
we're gonna take this idiot who's never done anything before, and I'm like, all right, brother.
Have you ever tried to ride a motorcycle at all, or no?
No.
Okay, so like,
no.
Yeah, then you'll be fine. Like if you've actually tried to ride a motorcycle or something, and for some reason couldn't figure out the clutch, like, you'll learn, bro.
I hope so.
You'll
man.
definitely learn. I'm confident in you, bro. You got
in the car, bro. It's even difficult. Like, even on the car, I'm like, bro, this is a lot going on, man. My dad. Well, then again, when my dad did try to teach me how to drive stick, it was in like a 1984 like Gia Metro, and I was like,
bro,
yeah,
that's another thing. With that's old. That's old. I'll give it to you, bro. That's going to be a hard one to listen.
Yeah, thank you.
Learning.
And my dad's like, "Oh, you're tearing up my clutch." I was like, "Dad, this thing's been getting tore up for about 30 years, brother. I don't think
it's too late. It's too late, bro." It's
yeah,
like, but dude, I was like 15 years old driving on the roads illegally.
No sweat. Out here in Culpeper.
Yeah,
that's a very Culpeper thing.
So my dad, so my dad taught me like how to like do things pretty early on. Like, I was learning how to shoot when I was young. I was learning how to do like all kinds of things when I was young. I feel like now thinking about it, I feel like people, this is kind of off topic, but I feel like a large majority of people, not to make this I don't know, I'll just say what I'm going to say. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people grow up soft nowadays. I feel like a lot of people grow up soft nowadays.
I agree. And I'm a pretty boy. And I'm looking at these guys I'm Get out there.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here saying like I'm the hardest motherfucker around by any means,
You
but
certainly
it just
look it.
feel like.
You certainly-
But no, I'm just saying I feel like you know what I mean. Just things nowadays. I guess I don't want to get into politics and stuff, but I just feel like people are so soft nowadays, bro. It's kind of crazy. Though
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's kind of like I don't know how they enjoy life, because like there's a certain amount of grit you have to like the idea of a utopia disgusts me. I'm like a life where I don't have to work. I'm like, no, I need to work.
No, absolutely,
like,
bro.
I need to get dirt. I need to sweat. I need to. Yeah,
No, I know exactly what you mean, bro. Because like, what would you do with yourself if you literally had nothing? I'm always looking for the next thing to kind of like achieve or do to make me feel, because you want to have like some sense of purpose. You know what I'm saying? You want to feel like you have a purpose. If you have nothing, I'm not saying work should be your only purpose by any means, but like, you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, and I mean the Bible says like that idle hands. It says a lot of things about idle hands, but just just not good for anything. Like it's not like we weren't created to not. We were created to work. Yeah, you know, like it's innately, and like we were created to create things. Yeah, you know, I don't know. It's like I see people nowadays, and there's a lot of people who, and maybe I think they're soft because there's just a lot of complaining, rather than a lot of just like grin and bear it. You know, yeah. And I get it. It's hard, you know, but dude, I've gone on mission trips, man. I've been to Nicaragua, Guatemala, and Africa, and brother.
Yeah, they're the ones going through it.
Oh,
you think?
My
Yeah,
God.
You think we have it bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are like, oh yeah, the how do they say, like the end times are here? I'm like, brother, they've been in the end times. I'm like, bro, in Africa, bro, they've been in the end times. Yeah, I'm like, if you think this is the end times, man, I got something to tell you, brother. This is
yeah, dude. No. My brother and my mom, I didn't get to go, which I do actually wish I got to go. But they went to Nepal, and they set on a mission trip, and yeah, apparently that, I can imagine, the experience was really good, really good. I wish I could have experienced that. Not too late, though. I can still go do something for sure, but it sounded really, really cool.
Yeah, and like, so for you, like, how are, what's something that you like to do? Is the gym the thing that kind of like puts you in that? Because I mean, it sounds kind of crazy for someone who isn't being paid to do it. You know what I mean? Like, but that is your work, you know? Like, so that is how you go. And it's crazy because that is your work. It is literally work, and it is tearing your fibers and rebuilding things. Yeah. And like, so like for you, is that kind of your main way, or do you do like, do you do other things too? Or like, is that,
what do you mean though? Sense? Like just, my main like hobby, or
like your main way of expressing that, like, that I just got that anger about the world, like, you know what I mean? Like I just want to go hard and like achieve. You know?
I do. I don't know if this really kind of falls in line with what you're talking about, but definitely the gym is one for sure. But you would have guessed that, right? So
you also work out angry. Like I see you sometimes.
Yeah,
and I'm
sometimes
like, he's in there.
But that's like, I feel like you kind of have to really. Like that's another thing is when it comes to training, really trying to achieve that next level physique, really, you have to train really intense. And I really believe that because if you're new to the gym and stuff, you can train, and just because, you know, your body's being introduced to something that it wasn't before, you're going to see some changes in your body and whatnot. But after you've been doing it for years, like I've been training in the gym since I was 14, you have to go harder and harder and harder every single time. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I find myself where I'm just in there and I'm kind of catch myself not, you know, I'm just kind of going through the motions, if you will. And I'm like, dude, what am I here for? Like, I have to remind myself there, I'm there for a purpose. Like, if I am training basically like I am right now, I'm not going to get to where I want to. Like, I have to continuously remind myself why I'm there and train harder, because, you know, it's not always, you don't always get into the gym and it serves the same or has the same effect that it used to. When I used to go to the gym, don't get me wrong, I still love the gym, but I've also been going for years. So it doesn't always hit the same, and I have to remind myself, like, I mean, there are times like I'll sit there and actually say a prayer in the car before I go in and I do actually think it helps. Like if I ask God to kind of help me get in the zone, help me focus up when I get in there, because social media and stuff, talking about being exhausting, sometimes I take the stress and things that I'm dealing with on the outside, take it into the gym, and then I'm just thinking about that while I'm like doing my sets and stuff. I'm like, this sucks. Like
Rather
I can't
than
focus.
It being a release.
Yeah, because
it's
exactly.
almost like it's
I just want to get out of there and then deal with
Yeah.
what I need to deal with. I'm like, dude, it's bad, and I deal with that often now. But I have to remind myself, like I need to. I'll go in. I'll turn my phone on Do Not Disturb and try to just lock myself in. You know what I mean?
Dude, your prayer life, man. That's awesome. I'm always that guy, like I said earlier, you know, but I don't like trying to just throw my faith on people, and like I don't know, maybe I could a little better.
Yeah.
But your prayer life, like what does that look like for you? I mean, like how often do you pray, you know?
So to be honest, I feel like I'm not as good as I should be by any means right now, but
which is a great place to be. I feel like anybody who's like, I pray enough, it's like,
yeah, no,
it's like that's
like obviously to be honest, I want to be better than I am now, but I do like every time before bed, and then sometimes just when I feel like I guess I need, you know, to calm my nerves or need his, don't want to say need his help, like I only try to talk to him when I need his help, but when I need his help, of course, you know. So I want to be better. I need to be better, and it's on my mind to be better. So I feel like I'm actively starting to work towards it.
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's cool to hear that, like, you actually feel the gratification of it. You know, I think that's an awesome thing about prayer, that a lot of people try and it's out of good reason, but they're like, I don't want to treat God like a genie in a bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
exactly.
there's actually a gratification that comes out of, I don't even know if gratification is the word, whatever. I'm gonna keep using it. That comes from praying. Like, dude, I even last night, brother, I was down here and I was like kind of getting all this stuff set up. I had to pull some files off my phone and I just felt off, dude. So I literally just laid on my face and I was like, I'm just gonna pray. And then I just kept praying and then kept praying. And I was like, God, I'm not gonna stop praying until I feel better. You know what I mean? Like, and like, not to say that I expected God to like, because I got up from that prayer, I lied to myself. I did not feel better. But yeah, dude, I was like, I kind of wanted that moment, you know? Like, I'm like, and then he said, Nate. Like, I wanted it so bad, dude. I was like, all right. I was like, that ain't how this work, dude. But, but this morning, man, I woke up and like, I really, I've been given like a lot of cool resources and stuff, and that's something that's been beneficial to me, is like starting out the day that way, you know, and just maybe it's like a little prayer, or for me it's like I read a devotional. And what's really been awesome too, man, is so there's like 31 days average, 30 days in a month, right? So like to read a proverb a day, because there's 32 proverbs. So you can read a proverb a day and kind of get, you know, like intake some of God's wisdom almost. It's a really cool, like, I've heard preachers always kind of do that, you know, and I was like, I like doing that. And, but so how your faith walk, were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
No, I can't think of another word for this. So envy is definitely not the right word, but I can't think of the other word that I'm trying to use. But I don't know. I really like that about you, and I really, really respect that about you. And I don't know. It just, every time we talk, it just, I don't know. I always feel really fucking good when I talk to you. You know what I'm saying? You're just a really positive person, and kind of always, I don't know. I guess I just really respect that about you. So I want to start doing that myself a lot more intentionally, basically, kind of like you said, how you start waking up and reading a verse or something like that. Because I'm not super, I mean, I can be intentional with it, but it's not like I have a schedule, right, where I know I'm going to wake up and read the Bible first thing in the morning. Yeah. But I would like to do that. I would like to be able to say I do that, and not just like it's like a chore, a thing to check off my bucket list, but something I actually kind of include in my daily routine. It becomes like a part of me. It's not something that, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, man. That's great self-awareness though too, because it's almost like you're aware of the pitfalls almost, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that's, and I really appreciate you saying that, man, because I feel like about me, like, I feel like if there's, I'm not a special person, but I know God, and I believe God speaks to me, and I believe that God speaks to, like, if, as long as, you know, the Bible says, ask, seek, knock. It's like, it's very clear. Like, if you give yourself, if you decide that you're going to give time to God, and I'm not perfect at it, man. Like, I struggle with I have a sin life that I struggle with, you know,
Right.
and I try to seek God rather than myself, you know, but I still seek myself at times too. I'm no, I know what's best. I know whatever, but I believe that, man, God wants to have relationship with us. So if he wants to have relationship with us, that means he wants to speak to us, you know?
Right.
And like, yeah, dude, I encourage you, man. And if you ever need somebody to kind of like pray with or something, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You
do
know,
you ever do stuff like, do you have like a group or something like that you get together with, or no?
Well, so we no. The answer is no, and it sucks. You know, I used to youth pastor, and I used to do a lot, and honestly, I became very prideful. I became very much interested in me, you know, in how different, like, how can I move a room? How can I preach a message? Or how can I lead a Bible study? So I've honestly been kind of dragging my feet in a way, because I hated that about myself after it was all over, you know. But I do have a great friend and mentor named Caleb, and we've been talking about starting something, and he actually just that's what I'm going to go help move today.
Okay.
After this, and so you do. I'll talk to him about because I need it too, man. You know, it's not like, so I would love it, like. And especially because you're cool as hell, brother.
Yeah,
like,
no, you're cool as hell, bro. Like, and I don't, it's just, I pretty much am always with my girl. Like, me and her are always hanging out together. And I think if I, look at little man chilling out. That's funny, bro. He peeking through. But to find some people that I really connect with, and we're all kind of on the same page, trying to, with the same, you know, values and things like that, it'd be cool. And I haven't really had an experience like that since back when I went to church when I was younger, you know what I mean? And you would go to these youth groups and things like that. But that was almost, back then it was forced a little bit by my parents, right?
Yeah.
You know, they want you to go do this. But now it's more so, it'd be a choice on my own to be like, you know, this is something I want to do. And, you know, a group I wanted to put myself into to get involved in and whatnot.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Yeah, I think that would really be cool.
And now there's freaking witnesses here.
Yeah, now you guys are going to know if
this is the
bro's slacking.
Those heathens, they're just out here using God as a plug.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but you were talking about, this whole conversation. So, in terms of social media and me incorporating religious views and stuff like that, what do you think about that right now, about my content? Because right now I don't actively talk about it often. When people do question, like on lives, if people ask me that question, I'll answer for sure. But I don't, and I've mentioned it in a couple videos, right? Like if I'm talking about my cousin with what she's going through and stuff, I'll definitely, you know, speak on some religious values or something during that. But I don't actively talk about it super often. And I guess that's not like a super easy question for you to answer because it wasn't a specific question, but just got me thinking. I see a lot of people nowadays, almost, it's become like, that's almost becoming a trend too. Very recently I've seen a lot of people talking about Christianity and stuff like that. And I try to be careful about kind of how I talk about it a little bit, because I feel like this sounds a little bit bad, so I'm not trying to say this in the wrong way.
No.
But some people come off when they talk about it it's almost like they're using it as a way to get them more of like a following and more respect from people. Because especially when it comes from someone who was never posting content about it. And I understand sometimes you have a switch in life where you almost like have a realization, like, I was living too much for myself. I need to start incorporating God so much more, which I respect. But some people, it almost comes across in a negative way. And I don't want to, you know, I would never want to talk about Christianity or something, and the people perceive it. I guess you can't control how people perceive things, but you know what I mean? Yeah. I wanted to come across genuine, not like... I guess I'd have to show you some of the content I'm specifically thinking of for you to know what I mean.
But I kind of I don't necessarily understand that part, but I get your heart behind it, because it's like you want to be received the way that you mean it, because you do mean it, you know.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be or perceived as a phony, you know.
Exactly.
You know, and I think that's a great place to start. Is I think like you always got to face the music eventually, you know, and it's like, okay, well, where do you stand? You know, like who are you and what do you believe? And at the end of the day, man, like that's who you are. So there's no need to apologize, you know. I only apologize for dirty dishes and bad sports bets. That's it. Fair, man. You know. So it's and at the end of the day, dude, I think it would be great. You know, even if you don't do it perfectly, even if you are a babbling fool when you try it out the first couple times, you know, I think you'll get better at it. I think that maybe it's a fad because God's real.
Yeah.
You know?
And I like to think of it like that because that's the case.
Yeah.
I just feel sometimes, and I know it sounds bad, and I'm not perfect, and maybe my view is incorrect, but just certain, and I feel like I'd have to show you what I'm talking about for you to really understand what I'm saying, and maybe you might actually see what I'm saying, but there's just some people that I've seen talk about it, and it almost seems like they just use it as a way to kind of garner some sort of respect and following from someone when it never was apparent before that you actually felt this way about God, and now all of a sudden you're just... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah, and I hear you, man. And I think, dude, like you have a testimony, brother. Like, and that people need to hear it. You know that because it also makes you human, man.
Right.
To know that there's the beauty of Christianity, brother, is that it's like it's faith based. It's not like we can't 100% know anything.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
We just can't. It's not possible for us. We have to operate on some amount of faith.
And that's exactly why faith is a thing, right? Because you can't necessarily go off specific proof. Like you can't 100%. Maybe some things. But
some things.
That's why faith is what it is, right?
Exactly. And that's why God gave us free will, is because He didn't want us to. If there was a 100%, like path of like this is 100%, this is 100%, this is 100%. Congratulations, you've made it to faith. Yeah, you know, it's like it wouldn't be. There has to be some amount of trust. Off of not. There has to be some amount of trust that is given to God, and we just say, "Hey, I don't understand, but I believe you."
Yeah.
And I think, dude, I think that it would be a great thing for you because it gives you something outside of yourself, you know?
Right.
I think and people need to see you as a human, you know? I think it's cool that you don't have all the answers or that you don't try to have all the answers. I think it's cool that you're wanting to incorporate it in the first place, man, because it's like that's where your heart's at, you know? It's so I think you should, man. Full send it, you know, and like I said, go for it.
Like you said, just try things out, like because I just want to make sure like it actually comes across how I feel it, you know, in a genuine way, not like Yeah, man, and if they don't like it, then kiss off, bro. It's like, you know what I mean? Is true. That is true. Yeah, man. And I feel like it does sound kind of bad, what I was saying earlier about, you know, perceiving people a certain way. But, you know. But it's your I guess everybody has these feelings. It is man, what it is. I hate when people are like, oh, it's not good to judge. I'm like, well, I'm a human. Bro. I'm going to judge. Bro. And you know what? And I am also, I'm also dumb enough or sincere enough to say like, hey, I misjudged that. Like, you know, I think it's we're growing, bro. Like we're going in a trajectory where it's like we're gonna put our foot in our mouths at times, and you know, and in this day and age with technology, some people are gonna see us put our foot in our mouth. But you know what, man? Like,
I mean, I love Peter in the Bible because it's like he denied Jesus 3 times to like a little girl at some point, like cussed out a little girl. He did something. He was wild, bro. Peter was wild, and like they've recorded it and they've been telling that story for millennia.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
People are like, oh, I can't believe like this is going to live on the internet forever. Like, are you embarrassed? I'm like, brother,
Like,
I
do
read
you know Peter?
Yeah, dude, I read a
Do you
whole
know
book
Peter?
of people who are embarrassing. Like,
Yeah.
I bet when I get to heaven, I'm gonna be like, Peter's gonna be like, yeah, I know, just don't bring it up, like, you know. And that's what, like, you know. But we're trying, man, and we're striving, and it's like I love hearing that before when you have like a off day at the gym that you pray, because you mentioned that before you mentioned that question, you know. So it's like it's I don't know, dude. It just gets me hyped up because I'm learning more about you as we talk and as we kind of, you know, and I don't know, man. I'm excited to see where you start to go the closer you get to God.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's a superpower. I think that God is a superpower because it you know, it's about loving God and loving others, and when you start doing that, it's crazy what starts to happen.
No, I believe that for sure.
And that's motivation to me too, dude, because like I'm glad I read my Bible and stuff this morning because like, it'd be crazy to get them on there and like and to not, and you know, I don't know.
Definitely,
whatever.
man.
But yeah, man. I'm glad we got to this point.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. Well, did you want to? We're at 1 hour and 15, man. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm good. I'm good. I realized though, I didn't when we were talking about, to circle back around, we were talking about, what was it? You know how I mentioned how people ask like, how did I get to where I got to and whatnot. I never really talked about how, like, the first big stepping stone. I feel like that was because technically I've been making YouTube videos since I was 15. Like, I made YouTube videos back then, if you go back and see, but obviously they weren't getting any views. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you left this out.
Yeah, so there's
because you I didn't know if that was what happened. I was curious to know about that.
So obviously there was a time period where you're posting and stuff and nothing gets views, or you don't have a social media presence, right? But you're still trying to. But I feel like the big stepping stone was, because I talk about doing things that even though you don't have the support from others, they may not believe in your vision, but you believe in your vision. So go after it, right? So I was 21 and I realized I was moving out of my house soon and all these things were coming to an end. I was like, it's going to be a lot harder to try to do what I want to do when I'm by myself, having to potentially get a job to pay my own bills, to pay for the rent every month. And I won't have as much time to delegate and try to, get where I want to with social media, right? So I have all the time on my side right now. I live with my parents.
Yeah.
So that was the time to make the most of it. And I was moving in March, and I think it was March of 2022, and it was 2021. I think it was November at the time. So this was like 5 months before the move or something like that, whatever. So there was a girl named Maddie, and she went to my gym, and she helped me a lot with like photography and videography. And she actually believed that I could like go crazy with social media. She was the one who actually talked me into doing TikTok to begin with. I was super against TikTok at the beginning. She was the one who talked me into it because she actually had 100,000 followers or something. And she and her sister would post videos and stuff. And she was like, if we can do it, you can definitely do it. So she honestly gave me so much, like she believed in me like no other, for sure. It was crazy, and I didn't even know who she was like that. But for some reason, we hit off.
I remember seeing her at the gym.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And we just had a really good connection. And that was a person
who like really kind of helped you shift gears a bit.
Yeah, dude. Like, there's no doubt for sure. Like, if I didn't meet her, like, I actually think she had a huge impact on where I am today, for sure.
Man, that's awesome, bro.
So
you give her 10% of everything? Or?
Yeah, right. That's like how it needs to be, for real, dude. Yeah. She still lives in Florida right now, so hopefully she'll come back to Culpeper soon. We can link up. But so we decided to go down. I think in November, I bought like an Airbnb or something for a month, and me and her went down there and just sent it for a whole month down in Florida, and we just shot content for a whole month. And I remember a lot of people just kind of being like, because I didn't have a social media presence at the time, right? So it was like,
yeah, I remember this, man.
So it didn't, to a lot of people, make a whole lot of sense. Like, I'm just kind of wasting money essentially and going out on a limb and whatnot. But we basically went down there, And all we did for the whole month was make content every single day. And I had her support doing the videos and stuff, or videography, so that helped a ton. And I ended up coming back from there. And I think after all was said and done, that whole month, I came back and I think I had like 80,000 followers on TikTok. So it was actually pretty substantial.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
So yeah, for a month.
Crazy growth.
Yeah, and when I got back, things kind of kept going. Just because I kept posting, I was already being very consistent for the whole month, so I knew I wasn't going to stop now. Came back to Culpeper, and people were pretty impressed. I feel like they were like, "Oh, I mean, that's clearly something happened, right? I mean, that's pretty decent for a month." So, and I saw what consistency and just actually doing it every single day did. So I kept going, and eventually I kept trying different things, right? Because you would figure out something that kind of worked, and you'd be like, okay, you can kind of replicate that and do it again. And then I figured out certain videos that would do really well, and I realized comedy was like a big side of things that worked well for me. Instead of just only doing fitness, kind of doing like fitness comedy or
like the
comedy
Rage
only.
Truck
Yeah,
videos,
that was crazy.
Did crazy numbers.
Like crazy
Because
numbers.
they were on my... This is before I even followed you, because I didn't know you. Like, when they were like... I would see them pop up on like the... whatever the other page is, where you go over that, and I was like, I think that's honestly how I found your Instagram.
Yeah,
because I seen the Rage Truck.
Yeah, dude, those were
out.
crazy.
I was like, all right, hit the follow.
Yeah, dude.
Like, dude, that's pretty nuts. That comedy with the fitness is. I just seen it, but I didn't know that was like a plan. It makes sense that it was a plan because I mean, dude, comedy is phenomenal. Like, I'm like, it's my favorite genre
dude,
of
love
anything,
comedy.
Man.
Love comedy.
Yeah.
But that was kind of what really going down that first month is what started it all, though, I think, because like once I did all that and went out on a limb and stuff like that, I knew like, okay, like I've gone this far, I'm not going to stop now. And then eventually, part luck, part just being consistent and trying to figure out what was really working, it just took off. I remember there was when I started doing, because it was actually before the truck videos, I had videos that were doing really well. I started doing like the Gator Needs Its Gat was like the first thing I was really known for. And
the other guys.
Yeah, that started kind of taking off. I remember I was getting a couple million. And then when I started doing the truck ones, those would get like 20 million plus every single time. And at that point I was gaining 30,000 followers a day on TikTok. And it was absurd.
Dude, I know crazy. You had to be so hyped up.
Dude,
man.
It was crazy.
It
felt like
so excited.
It was unreal. I don't think I'll ever have that same type of experience again. I'll always remember it because I remember like waking up and just feeling like it was unreal. Yeah. Like 30,000 followers a day, likes, and it was
not
crazy.
Likes, followers.
Yeah, followers, and it was crazy.
That is amazing.
It was absolutely crazy.
I'm gonna go take a piss real quick.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Sweet. I used to be like not like nervous about that until I seen like Joe Rogan do it in a video. I was like,
like say you gotta
Rogan's
take a piss,
pissing, bro. I'm like, if Joe's pissing, and then
right.
Back in, and he's like, it never even happened.
Let's go.
Back at it.
You made that pretty quick, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, it felt like a freaking flood was coming out of me, man. And I was like, "Why do you have shoes on?" And I'm like, because I like shoes." And he's like, "Did your friend take her shoes off?" And I'm like, "Yes, he took his shoes off." Love my wife.
Yeah, man. Dude. The whole taking off shoes thing.
So, relationship, man. How is?
Oh yeah.
How did you, Sasha, the gym life, the work life? How does all of how did that come together? You know, you and her, because I see y'all in there crushing it together, which is awesome to see. Like couples going in, handling business. My wife sends me to the gym. She does not go with me, man.
Yeah. So I've actually known Sasha for a long time. We dated back in high school, and so we have actually a pretty long history together, and we didn't date the whole time throughout, like, knowing her since high school. Obviously I went off to college, and I have a good portion of my life where I was immature and stuff like that, but
we all got scumbag years, brother.
Yeah,
like,
so but we did end up getting back together later on around we've been together for a while still though now, so I can't remember exactly. It was a while ago, but it's kind of weird. I've known her for a long time actually, so we have a long history together. I actually got her into the gym way back when I first met her in high school. We started dating and whatnot. I took her to the gym with me a couple times, but she hated it. She did not like it. And then after we broke up, I saw her going to the gym a lot more, and she had like a crazy transformation. She used to be super skinny.
Really?
Like, obviously, she's still like, a small girl, a small human, but I'm talking like skinny all around. You know what I'm saying?
So after the transformation, you were like, hey.
Yeah, bro. I was like, bro, people, honestly, though, like, it's funny. Like, I know for a fact people that went to our high school know the transformation I'm talking about, because it was like, what? But
no one's faulting you. They're all like, yeah, we seen what you seen, brother.
No doubt. So I thought that always, I always think about that. It's so funny to me. I'm like, holy crap, you really, like, I feel like that was her, because I think we all have that, like, potentially, people go through, have relationships, maybe have a breakup, and they get, some people let it really beat down on them, they do nothing, and then there's the other people who, like, kind of use it as motivation and completely transform their lives.
Because you had a crazy transformation too, man, from what I've seen in the post.
And part of that, like, when I ended things with my past relationship, I definitely felt like, I'm not gonna lie, like I said, some of this does sound kind of cringy, bro, but I definitely felt like I had something to prove. Like, it lit a fire under my ass to be like, I am going to transform myself physically, financially. I'm about to level up like a motherfucker.
Dude,
and
that
I
happens,
think,
man. That is an awesome. Yeah, I'll let you finish.
No, it just like that whole heartbreak thing. It really does. It does kind of play a role if you use it to your advantage. It definitely does. I can say for sure.
So in some cases, it's you versus you.
Oh,
in other cases, it's you versus your ex. like, you're going, you're
that's,
just going,
that's what, dude, imagine if that was the name, you versus your ex. People be like, hey, yo, what the?
Yeah, that might be a line though, like a little, like,
like,
dude.
That would be funny, bro. Just maybe for shits and gigs, put that on a shirt, would be so funny.
Hell yeah, and then get Shawn Michaels on there, the Heartbreak Kid, just like, but like an edited Shawn Michaels, so we don't get sued. You know?
Exactly.
Hey, that is.
That's funny. It's you versus you versus your ex. Bro.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that was kind of what sparked it.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. No doubt. But yeah, that's kind of that story right there a little bit.
So like for your like I mean, I don't want to keep diving into gym stuff but if you do,
I'm cool with whatever, bro.
Okay, cool, cuz I have a lot of questions, right?
Go for it, bro.
And you're pretty open about the sauce.
Oh
right?
yeah. PEDs,
yeah, I've been waiting because I just from what I've been told is that I can go to a doctor at some point, and I'm like, okay, that seems like what I should do.
TRT?
Yeah. Now, I don't know how that all comes about. I just know that if I have to shoot it in my butt or I don't know what at all.
Yeah, so
I don't trust myself. I'm going to be out there on like, I think there's CCs, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be on like 1,000 CCs. Like if it's me, because I'm just going to be like,
you're going to be blasted. You're going to be blasted, bro.
Yeah, so I'm like, I should probably go to a doctor and have them like do the numbers
prescribe
for
and
me.
whatnot.
Yeah, because you let me do it, boy. I might have come out.
Wait, what's your actual like? What's something you want to know about it though? Like all around general?
Yeah, well, like so, like how did it start? I guess like obviously was it like one of those things where you seen somebody or met somebody, or was it like you were hitting plateaus and then you were like wanted to...
Really what it came down to was the realization that the large majority of people that are IFBB pros, like to really go far in bodybuilding, they're taking PEDs. Even some of your like favorite athletes in football or whatever, like use performance enhancing drugs. So it's like,
hell yeah,
and it's very relevant in bodybuilding. That's just kind of the case, and I think it's frowned upon for that reason. But which I can understand that, but I'll always keep it 100. That's kind of like, why do you think people be looking so freaky on the bodybuilding stage, bro?
It's one of those
not
stigmas where it's like, okay, it may be a stigma because no one's talking, but even UFC guys are like, everyone.
Yeah, a large majority of people do it, and it just so happens that with bodybuilding, for some reason, it's like everyone is like, oh, like it's more talked about and known that PEDs are used in bodybuilding, but they really are used in these other sports. It's just not talked about as much, if you will.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That makes sense, and it's still like, I think people also don't understand that like you don't just use it and then you grow. Like
I just saw something on TikTok the other day. someone in the comments section was talking about you can literally take them, you don't have to do anything, and you'll still grow more muscle than a natural athlete. And I'm like, dude, you guys got to be kidding me.
No.
It's these people that have never taken it that have these thoughts and stuff. But when you actually do have experience with them, you realize it's not the Superman drug. It's not what you thought it was. Because don't get me wrong, when I was younger too, I always used to use that as an excuse, like, oh, well, he's probably just bigger than me because he takes steroids or something like that. And I mean, maybe there's like some like little bit of truth to that sometimes, but most of the time, and I try to tell people, because I've seen so many people now that take PEDs and they look terrible. I'm like, if you don't look good naturally, you're not going to look good when you take PEDs, because the likelihood is either your genetics are fucked.
That's a funny thing. Yeah.
No, it is, because like either your genetics are trash or you just never figured out the foundational elements that it takes to get where you needed to. So if you don't have those down, why are you going to start incorporating something else? Like you don't even have the basics down, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, even just the actual routine and how to have a balanced routine into how to build equal muscle. You know what I mean? Like you can see guys who obviously people who are skipping leg day and whatever and still look like dog shit because they just are top heavy and like not
for sure.
You know, but also like
there's also like aside from the not being proportionate part of things, there's also just the pure fact that like you are like better looking in terms of, I mean, you're also a good looking dude, but in terms of physical appearance,
you literally talking about me.
In terms of physical appearance, like muscular wise, like dude, you look better than some people that I know who've literally taken tren, like, which is one of the harshest.
That's
so that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not, but you also look the good as a natural, but I'm saying you look good enough to say like you look better than people who take PEDs. But this is what I'm saying,
which goes to prove that
like PEDs aren't everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if you did take PEDs, you probably look pretty great.
Yeah, hey, look. Hey. All right, y'all, we're going to cut the camera now. Let's go get you.
We're going to teach him how to pin his butt cheeks.
So is that what it is? Is it all injection?
So, no.
Pill forms out there? What do we got? We got patches. They got Zens with steroids. I need if they got Zens with a little.
Yeah. So,
trendy
Zens? There's obviously orals.
Okay.
Then there's injectables.
I love oral, so we'll
technically, I forget what the name is. I think there's like, I mean, that kind of just falls under orals as well. But like testosterone, for example, that's going to be all in it. Injection. You can't take that in the oral form. Okay. So there's certain things that you just can't take in an oral form. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Testosterone being one.
And the way that your body processes them is different. So if you're taking an oral versus an injectable, the harm that it's going to do to your body is going to be different. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that your body processes it going through your mouth.
Liver and...
Yeah, so your liver is going to be a lot more affected taking something orally.
Okay. That makes perfect sense, actually, then.
Yeah, so...
stay away from those.
That's why people should get their blood work done to, check their liver enzymes. There's a whole boatload of list of things what you should be getting checked, but across the board just to know, what your body can essentially handle, right?
Yeah.
Because, when you're younger and if you've never introduced it before, you're probably fine. You probably are okay. But you should always just get your blood work done just because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
If you're going to go that route, you're going to take PEDs, you're going to, put your body under stress that it didn't need to be under before, you should take the precautions necessary. And that's what I don't like about, I am honest about it with social media, but I hate that, like, some people will go under and comment, you're just talking about this and persuading kids to do PEDs. I'm like, dude, that's the last thing I'm trying to do. And that irks my nerves. I'm not going to lie. Talk about a comment that really pisses me off because I don't want people to do that. I just want, because when I was getting into the industry or when I was watching it, people weren't honest about their usage and stuff. And you didn't have like this realization that some of these people were taking PEDs. And I'm not going to say that's exactly why they look the way they look, but I mean, yes, you're going to look, taking PEDs is going to further enhance your physique, right? And when I like to be honest with people so that they don't just think like this is some attainable physique naturally. Like you can get to 270 pounds naturally. Like that's not going to be, some people, but you're probably a genetic freak just naturally to get to 270 pounds and jacked as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, man. And especially like, because even if you like, they ain't cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
so
another
it's like,
thing.
hey, if you are motivating some young bucks out there to get juice, well, they're gonna need to put in some hard work.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, because you got to
well,
keep up with a lot of things, and that's another thing with getting blood work and stuff. That's not cheap. PEDs really aren't like crazy expensive, but those aren't cheap either. You know.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure you're financially set as well.
Yeah, and realistically, I mean, what young kid is
Exactly.
even going to be able to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I don't buy into all of that. I think people grandstand and they're like trying to be a world saver, and they're like, and I mean, honestly, I'm like, all right, well, there's people having surgeries for gender transitions. They're getting yoked up out of their mind.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, so
Yeah.
we're just hating on the meatheads. We're not
Right.
hating on the whatever. All right,
Exactly.
that person's 13. It's like, whatever.
No,
I mean,
you're right.
but yeah,
You're
it's
right.
just funny how all of these things start to fall apart the more you start to unpackage them. It's like, no, at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do. So the best thing you can do is give testimony and information about what is actually happening in your own life. And so I applaud you, man, for always being one to talk about it. And, you know, like, was there ever a time where you felt like nervous to talk about it at all?
When I first mentioned, you know, everything about it and whatnot, maybe a little. Well, I don't know if I really was that nervous, to be honest. I don't know.
Just being aware, because aware.
I mean,
of,
it is
the
illegal.
backlash. Really?
It is illegal.
I did not know that.
It's illegal, yeah.
I might have to do it now. You know, I
Yeah,
love.
so I mean,
love illegal.
It depends on where you're located, right?
Okay.
So, you know, there's that too. It's like you don't want to just sit there and commit felonies online. Or whatever,
Yeah. That's not a good idea.
But you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, there's that. But just be you saying you've done something, you did something, that doesn't really, you're not getting in trouble. So there's things like just about, you can be honest about things, and that's the issue I have is the fake natural people, the people that claim natural that aren't natural or whatever, and they try to. That's so silly, bro. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
what is the point of that?
It's
That just
pointless.
doesn't. Yeah,
In
that's
the
what I
end.
don't like. Yeah.
Because like you were even saying, like, there were guys that you were looking up to, and it's like you're really. That to me is more despicable, because then you're not like the whole Liver King thing. You remember when that came out?
Yeah, that.
And
was
then,
something
like,
else,
I mean, bro, he was really like, nope. And then they literally, what's his name? More Plates, More Dates.
Yep.
Like, pulled his certs, I guess you could say, and was
Yeah.
like, and then it's like, you know, and he's now unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, I
What,
don't,
Liver King?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see him anywhere, and it's crazy because all he would have had to do was just be honest, and he'd still have his following. Maybe he's still, but it's not.
He's still. I don't know. Like, people talk about relevance and whatnot. I guarantee if we knew how much he was making, that wouldn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he's doing amazing in terms of that regard. So, like, if we're like, oh, nobody talks about Liver King anymore, he might flex his bank account, and we're like, oh, well, who cares, really, you know?
Liver King's going to see this and be like, hey, young buck, go back to your little basement
But
podcast,
no, it is-
brother, because I'm eating elk nuts and doing just fine, brother.
Yeah, but no, the whole thing about him lying and whatnot, especially with how just adamant he was that he didn't do it, made the whole thing so much worse. He was like, never done it, never touched it, never gonna touch it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, I've been touching them for a while, I've been doing it. It's like, yo,
The video
bro.
was, bro, when he was in like the Game of Thrones
Yeah,
chair,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like, it is I. Liver
Yeah,
King.
yeah,
I was like-
yeah.
And I didn't, because I was all about him, man. Like, and
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I can't even say I was hoping that it was false, because I knew, dude. Just,
Yeah,
brother,
I mean,
you
he looked
can't
pretty
look-
freaking ridiculous, yeah.
And I felt like, because he's 5'7" too, so I was like, man, like, that could be me.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
actually, one day that when I hit like 30, I get then whenever the TRT, I don't even know all of the fundamentals of the TRT, like what, because
Right.
some people say like, yeah, when you turn 30, you start to drop by.
I mean,
But I'm
it's
like,
going to be different for everybody. There's not going to be like
yeah.
sure, there might be some statistical, like, okay, well, typically this is what happens, but it's different for everybody. I mean, there's people in their 20s that for some reason have just low testosterone, they get TRT, so
Yeah.
it's different for everyone, really.
Yeah. And so for you, like, other than all of that, like, what other supplements do you use? Like, obviously, like pre-workout.
Gorilla Mind, everything Gorilla Mind. That
Yeah?
was so, obviously I'm sponsored by them. Shout out More Plates, More Dates. You know, that's who owns it.
No kidding.
That's like my boss,
I'm about
bro.
to go-
That's like my boss, bro.
No kidding. I like Derek,
it.
man.
Derek's cool, bro.
I'm about to move on from that old C-Bum Raw then. I'm about to go on that Gorilla Mind.
Hey, bro, if you go to Gorilla Mine, use code Tris, though.
I will.
It'll save you 10%, and it'll support your boy.
Boom. Hey, plugged in, man. I really am, dude, because I'm running out of I've been using some, I don't know what it's called. Something. It had C-Bum's name on it.
Yeah.
I was like, he's
I mean,
jacked.
it's probably pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it had the. I'm Gorilla Mind. I don't even know what. Bro, I use Gorilla Mind. I don't even know.
Yo, what's C-Bum breed?
Yeah, dude.
But,
and what of their products are you like, what's your favorite or?
So, I mean, their pre-workouts are really good because they're stacked, bro. In terms of the ingredient panel, they have, I mean, everything you need and then some, you know what I'm saying? I think their flavors is what they used to lack on, to be honest.
Okay.
But the purpose that it serves, it would get it done. You know what I'm saying? Their flavors now are better. Like, if you guys actually want to get something, I would get the pina colada or the strawberry kiwi. Those are their newest flavors, and they taste really good. Some of their old ones, they're okay.
Pina colada.
But
I can't rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett, bro. He was all about them pina coladas and margaritas, baby.
Yeah, man.
I like me some pina coladas.
I would try the pina.
I don't know,
colada.
man. That might be dangerous. I might be sipping on that at the house.
Honestly, though, if I get
Just kidding.
if I get a re-up though from it, because I haven't gotten any for a little while, just because I stay so stacked, bro. If you saw my supplement cabinet, it's full.
Yeah.
Full, yeah.
Like-
So if I can get some more though, and I'll just give you one for free so you can try it. But
I do a whole
I'll do a
review
pina colada.
I'll be like, bro, go name Tris. All right, here we go, dude. Take 5 scoops to the head, see how far I can run.
Yeah, typically, I don't know, dude. I don't go too crazy anymore. I remember I used to be like a stim freak. I used to just go crazy and like try to get
itching.
Yeah, yeah. But now I'll just do like 1 scoop. It's enough. Typically, I try to take more of like a pump ingredient formula. So they have a nitric formula, and I'll do like 1 scoop of the mode, which has a little bit of caffeine and a little bit of pump, and then I'll do 1 scoop of nitric, which is purely pump focused. So it really makes a good combination right there.
Dude, see, this is why you need that podcast, man, because I've been gymming for a while, and I don't even. You're talking about
know the whole reason behind why the whys on why to do things, basically, or what? Like why you should take a certain product?
Yeah, man, because this is good information. Like I didn't even. I've just been dumping pre-workout into my whatever and just drinking that, and I might put like some little. I think I have diabetes. I don't know, but and I don't know if even salt has anything to do. I cramp, dude. I get like wicked,
at the gym you cramp, or just like in general you cramp.
I cramp constantly. I cramp like a girl in menstrual, man. It's bad, dude. So I'll freaking have to add salt to like all of my stuff because like pink salt.
That's why you get such a crazy pump at the gym, bro. I be adding salt to my shit too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It helps with the pump a lot.
They told me it would help with my diabetes that I self-prescribed or self-diagnosed. So I've been like throwing scoops in there, man. I'm like, help me, God. Yeah,
killing
man.
2 birds with 1 stone. That's right.
Just kidding.
Hell yeah.
Little did I know, but see, this is the information I need.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't know that, and like you said,
nitric.
Nitric.
Yeah, nitric.
Okay.
I mean, that's what they're choosing to call the product, nitric.
Okay.
And then there's Gorilla Mode and Gorilla Nitric. Gorilla Mode is the combination. It has a little bit of pump, caffeine, creatine, like the whole bit, and then nitric is much more pump focused. So typically I'll do 1 scoop of the mode because I don't need crazy caffeine. Yeah. I already I'm going to get intense in the gym regardless of, the caffeine or not. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's not going to be why I have a great workout. So I'll do 1 scoop mode, 1 scoop nitric. Boom.
And you're good. What about like the old school stuff? You still in that whey? You still drinking that?
Yeah. So, I mean, they have like protein and stuff too. So I use their...
Dude, they got everything.
Yeah, they have everything, bro. So I use their isolates. They're pure isolates because they digest super well in your stomach. So if you're someone who like drinks whey and you start like shitting your pants or farting a lot, so do the pure isolates. It digests so much better and it actually tastes really, really good. Like really good. If you get I promise, bro, if you get the vanilla or the strawberry banana, like any of their new proteins, you mix it with the water, it'll taste amazing.
Hey, I'm gonna do the whole gambit, man.
I've been getting a lot of people at our gym on it because, like, since they know me personally, they'll choose to be like, all right, I'll use code Tris since I know you personally, whatever. And they're like, bro, the protein is actually like the best protein I've ever tried.
And what does that do for you when they use your code? Like,
it gives me a commission.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And it saves them money, though. It saves them
doing.
money off of it and then gives me a 10%. So basically, they get 10% off and I think I get 20% commission. Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool then. So you get like a nice little kickback, and then that pays the bills for you, and it gets you yoked. So it's almost like that's a great thing, man. That especially has to be like new these days, like to like everything, because like I guess back in the day, like there weren't as many outlets, there weren't as many people pushing products or sponsoring people.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy now. There's so many people like trying to sell something, but I've always wanted to be with Gorilla Mind, like because I used to watch everything before getting involved. So I'm basically with the dream company that I always wanted to work with. So for me, it feels like I'm promoting something that it feels genuine because I always liked their products. I always used their products. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just cool to be a part of the team that I always.
Derek's like a mad scientist.
Yeah, bro, and he knows what he's doing.
Brain.
Yeah, exactly.
I trust him. Yeah, anybody who exposes Liver King, I'm like,
yeah, bro, right. And like that's it. Like
I don't mean
said.
to dunk on Liver King again.
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry.
No, bro, he did. No, he dissed us, bro. He lied to us. He lied to us, man.
I took
you got what you deserve.
5'7". I was like,
you're like, bro, that's me. That could have been me.
Yeah, I was like, I knew it wasn't possible.
And he had a full stack he was running, bro.
Dude,
but
I took the elk nuts right out my mouth and threw them in the trash.
I'm not doing this no more.
Yes,
that's funny.
Got me, man. How did that come about though? Gorilla Mind. Like, did you approach them, or did they approach you, or they just like how?
So there was the first time they actually reached out, I turned them down, which is actually an interesting fact because Derek, More Police, More Dates, he made a video on me on YouTube. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, last year. Wait, was it last year? Yeah, he made a video on me on YouTube, and then that's when they offered a sponsorship, and I turned it down because at the time, the Rise CEO Nick was offering me a sponsorship with Rise, and he was taking a long time to kind of like get back with me and sort things out. And it was funny because like I said, Gorilla was my dream company, but I'm a loyal person. This guy had shown interest in me, and then I was okay. Like, you reached out, let's see what it's about. And then he was like being really kind of slow to respond and all these things. So I was like, you're not interested. So I went back to Gorilla. I said, will you guys still work with me? And they're like, absolutely. So that's
awesome,
with them.
Man. Heck yeah, dude.
You know Alpha Lion at all?
Alpha Lion. That seems familiar, but
they're another new one. They just they reached out recently and offered a salary base to work with them, but still stay with Gorilla. That's another thing. I don't switch between, companies 24/7 like all these other people do. I've always wanted to be with Gorilla.
Yeah. It's always good to be on Derek's team too, though. You know what
bro.
I mean? Because I really like his style of. He was one of those guys when it came time to even making this whole thing. Like, I was getting motivated by people who the story to me is what matters, man. Like, I don't the camera angles, all the things. Like, maybe like that's great, but like I'm interested in you. Yeah, I'm not interested in how to like manipulate something to make it more. I don't know, and that's not. Maybe that's just me. So when I see a guy like Derek who like has like the freaking AC unit and behind him, man. I seen that and I was like, okay, man. Like, I know I value people and I know I have a genuine interest in people. So when it comes time to start rolling this thing out, like that guy was like one of the motivating factors for me, man. So that's interesting. I didn't know he made a YouTube video.
Yeah, bro.
About
you got to go back and watch it.
Yeah,
it was last year.
It's kind of cool. Good one.
Yeah, I mean, he offered. I mean, I don't think he would have like been down to offer me. We actually chatted on Instagram too after that video. It was kind of cool.
Dang, dude, I got royalty on my couch right now.
Nah,
brother.
Nah, definitely not, bro.
This might be a one and done pod. I peaked. I'm done. I'm like, I retire. I'm like, yeah, boys, should have been there back in them glory days.
Nah, definitely not, bro. But yes, it was good things. I mean, obviously, he's a little bit older, so I mean, his take on TikTok, right, is kind of like it's TikTok, but at the same time, I know, like, based on how he spoke on everything, he definitely respected the grind, and he was also like, this guy also like pretty much just ate his former self. Like, he looks like the guy who would bully the guy beforehand. You know what I mean? Because he was talking about my transformation and how crazy it was. Dude, so that's basically what the video was about, was my transformation. You had
I think it's one video. You have like a black tank on.
Yeah.
And it goes from like you in the bathroom when you were younger to you in the black tank or something. I might be mixing two things. That video is insane, dude.
I think it's I think I know which one you're talking about though. But I'm not wearing a black tank in the after one, but I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, dude. When I seen that, it was like, you just see these things and you get motivated because you know, like it's not just about the gear. It's not
Yeah.
just about the. Bro, you said since 14, man.
Yeah.
So a decade you've been.
Yeah, and the
over
thing
a
is,
decade,
like,
you've been grinding at this thing.
Yeah,
and sculpting yourself.
Yeah. The biggest bulk I ever did naturally too, and I actually, well, I guess I probably was in the 230s, but when I was, I'm trying to think of like the best physique I had when I was natural. I was still in the 220s and like with a six pack. Like I was pretty shredded.
Gosh.
So I feel like people, I don't know, like the people that just assume it's all gear. It's like I had people thinking I was taking PEDs before I took PEDs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my friends talk about it all the time. Like they'll come sometimes if you look, they'll join in like on certain videos if people are just dogging me. They'll be like, they'll come in and comment. They're like, bro, you have no idea. This dude's been getting PED allegations when he was completely natural. So all you guys saying that shit, good luck, bro.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Man, well, what's the future look like for you, man? What are you, if you have any goals in mind for? I know you have like the brand that's coming out, You versus You, which is gonna be awesome. Definitely gonna support that and get me a pump cover.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah,
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna skate in that pump cover. I'm gonna lift in that pump cover. But is there anything else like on the horizon you're kind of looking forward to, or even like some dreams or something that like you haven't even kind of worked out a plan yet, but just a dream?
Going pro as a bodybuilder, obviously, is something I have to achieve. You know, that's part of this whole thing. Yeah. Originally, I always wanted to do social media was so that I could have the time I needed to eat the 6 meals a day, to train as hard as and long as I needed, and do all that. So that's why I wanted to do social media, because I was so passionate about bodybuilding. I wanted to get my pro card, and in order to do so, you can work a 9 to 5 and do it, but it'd be easier if you could, like, delegate even more time. Yeah.
So pro card, is that the acronym, right? The
IFBB Pro. So being an IFBB Pro would be able to, it allows you to compete in the pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
with
know,
the pros.
I thought that was professional bull riding.
IFBB?
Yeah, it's a weird story.
No, that's good, bro. It's good.
It's a weird story, dude. I seen
bull riding's cool too, though.
Yeah, I mean it's rad.
It's cool to watch.
Not the same though. And I'm an idiot because I seen a guy. You might even know him. Artemis
Dolgen, or
he's like from a different country or something.
Yeah, and he's like kind of old school looking, like build, big lats,
crazy stuff.
Yeah, like on planes, like all kinds of.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
He was riding a bull.
Yeah,
and I see this first I ever seen him, and it said IFBB.
Yep.
Pro in his thing.
You're like, oh, he's a professional bull rider.
That's it. This dude's young.
That's funny,
bro.
A
professional bull rider.
That's funny as shit.
Yeah, and like I did not like this went on for months. Like for months, I thought that
that's
IFBB was bull riding, and then somebody, maybe Derek in a video or something, said like someone was getting a pro card, and he said, and I was like. And I went back to the dude's profile. I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "No, he's not a professional bull. He rode one bull." Like,
that's funny, bro.
Yeah, so that's the goal, though. So IFBB, man.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, that's not. There needs to be something after that, right? That's not like the. Don't get me wrong. That's something I want to achieve before I die, but it's there's other things I want to do. Obviously, like you said, the businesses, things like that. Yeah. I guess I don't have. Everything lined up in terms of exactly what I want to accomplish before. Yeah. But I got, I'm just kind of looking at the next thing and then work on the next thing and just keep going. If I try to, gather up everything I'm trying to do, I won't even get started. I'll just be like, it's too much. Yeah. So I'm just like, let's, accomplish the next thing, then move on to the next thing, then move on to the next thing.
Hell yeah, man. So that's when you do this, man. We need the full like story of in pursuit of this thing, dude.
Yeah,
that's
brother.
Gonna be an awesome thing, man. And I can't wait to support you, brother. And see,
bro, dude. If
when
it comes to the next national level show, if it's like nearby, I'll have to get you to come by. Like if it's the one that'll like qualify for a pro card, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude,
we'll have to get you to come through.
That would be wicked, man. I love what you're doing, man. I love that. First of all, you're so authentic. I think you see a lot of these guys on medias who are booming, or these people who are on TikTok booming, and like you don't expect them to be so human. Mm-hmm. So I value that about you. I'm excited to see what all this like turns into, man, and like how you continue to grow. And IFBB.
Bull rider, baby.
Yeah,
Bull
baby.
rider.
Hey, go ride them bulls, son. Go saddle up them donkey things and ride, dog.
IFBB Pro.
yeah,
That'll
man.
be, yeah. I mean, once I get that, I can say I'm a professional bodybuilder. And I mean, yeah, that's the next step really in terms of the bodybuilding stuff.
I think you'll do it, man.
I believe
so. Far,
so.
I
feel like I've just come too far to not accomplish that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I stop now?
Yeah.
Gotta keep going, baby.
And I see you in the gym, brother. Trust me, you're gonna be pro, bro. Like, you keep doing whatever.
Dude,
doing.
I would love to meet some more people because I've never been a big, collaborative type of person. Like I said, this is my first podcast, and I've had people like in the industry invite me to podcasts and do certain things, but I've never been, like I said, I've always just been kind of a introverted type of person. I'm like, whatever. So I would like to meet some other people though, and kind of I want to see how big some of these other guys are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Size them
Like
up.
I want to lift with some people and stuff like that. I think it'll be fun.
Last question. Biggest like bodybuilder influence, and if you could like sit and talk with him, like I mean for me, I think I'm an easy one. I'm Arnold because he was the only documentary I had ever seen. The pumping iron.
That's a good one though. That's a good one. Still valid, very valid.
It was just like seeing him like just be a rat from I can't even remember what I think it was Austria. I can't remember. I think maybe it was Austria, something like that. I actually just watched his newest one on Netflix too. That was really good. It was a shame I don't know where he's actually from.
Yeah,
I think it's Austria, but I mean, like that was the only one I knew that ever existed until I don't know. So that would be but I'm also not you, and you are in this field, in this game. Who is the guy that you would want to sit, talk to, and then catch a lift with in their prime, even?
Oof. That's definitely a good question. So we're speaking on like pro bodybuilders, right? Probably.
Yeah. Or I mean, maybe not, man. Whoever.
Yeah. I don't know, dude, because there's obviously Arnold's a good one, right? Like you say in their prime, like I could have, like somehow I could go back and lift with Arnold in his prime.
Yes.
That would be, if that was the case, if I could do that, I would pick Arnold.
Okay.
Because that's crazy. Like you can go back and lift with him in his prime. I mean, don't get me wrong, he still has a ton of knowledge and stuff he could pass on now, but that would be pretty cool to lift with him in his prime. I think a lot of people would probably say C-Bum nowadays. Okay. You know what I mean? Which obviously that would be cool as well.
Yeah.
And he's in his prime.
I found out he was Canadian, and I was like, bro, you got to answer about them fires. I'm like, we can't lift until you tell me about it. You got to tell me you didn't do anything to do with them fires, brother. You've been jacking up my summer down here in America.
But that would be a cool one. To be honest, I think you probably don't know who this is, and this is an amateur. Or actually, no, he's a pro bodybuilder now. Do you know Brandon Harding?
Nope.
Yeah, so this guy, when I'm talking about people that were like OGs, like Bradley Martin, Christian Guzman, I watched Brandon Harding a ton when I was younger. Like he was someone I actually would say I was like a fan of when I was younger. And I've talked to him now, like through social media and stuff, which is kind of cool because like he saw what I'm doing now. And I don't think he really like pays attention like that, obviously, but I DM'd him one time because I was like, dude, you're like, just so you know, you had like huge impact on me.
Yeah.
And I used to watch your content all the time and kind of like inspired me to do what I do today a little bit. So I would say him because he's like the only person I can really think of that I watched on YouTube. Yeah. Crazy, like followed all of his videos super hard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was younger, and this was when I was like growing up, like 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
And I still watch him today. So I guess that, because that would be cool to get a lift with somebody that I actually, watch really hardcore.
Heck yeah, man.
C-Bum though, I would have to say too. It's hard, bro.
Did you remember C.T. Fletcher? You remember him?
Oh, dude, yeah. I did watch him.
Yeah, bro.
I did watch him.
I command you to grow.
Yeah,
that dude. Was crazy.
That's actually crazy. Did you ever watch Cali Muscle?
Yeah, that's
he was kind of funny, bro. I watched his jail
fruit?
videos.
Yeah, you ever see him eating fruit?
What, the whole watermelon challenge he's doing now?
I don't know. I seen him one time in a video eating fruit, and it just looked sexual. It was not good. It was,
yeah, he does actually. Yeah, his noises and stuff he makes are wild, bro.
Yeah, dude. I was like.
But back in the day, I used to watch when I was really young. His videos that he would do in jail. And he'd make like hyphy meals. Do you know what that is?
No.
What that is? Dude, you gotta look it up. He used to make these crazy like bulk meals with high calories and stuff like that. And I used to make those meals and eat them when I was like 15, 16. I'd bring them to school.
Why is he doing it in jail?
You just gotta watch. I think it was like a setup. But back then,
watch
yeah,
it.
back then,
I'm
look
very
up hyphy Cali muscle, and you'll find all the jail videos.
Yeah. I guess it did
He
because
was jacked too.
I mean, it piques interest because as soon as you said he's in jail, I'm like, I need to see this.
Yeah.
So that's why I did it.
Yeah.
This dog's on AWOL.
But yeah, man. We can wrap it up. We freaking
Yeah,
we covered a lot of things, bro.
2 hours, man.
Yeah, it doesn't actually feel like it was 2 hours. It was pretty good.
Yeah, man, and they get you on again sometime too, like, and even help you get your stuff started up. And
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, we got to think about something. Like, how often do you do these podcasts? Like, right now it's just pretty like.
Yeah, I've been doing them weekly.
Okay.
So, yeah, me and Dustin have recorded 3. We have a separate podcast too. So, long story short, Cowabunga Radio Show is my big dream, and I want to do a live show eventually. You know, where I don't know. I'd like to. I have a lot of friends who are involved in music and comedy and things, and so it's like I would love to almost start something that would really be alive and a blessing to a community somehow. I don't know all of the logistics of how. That's the big dream. I don't know. So this is Johnny Meets World. Johnny Cowabunga was a nickname given to me at a skate park a long time ago, dude. Like, I don't even know how
it came up.
Yeah, man. Well, like, I would always go to Magic Bullet Skate Shop to buy everything, and I couldn't go regularly. Like, it was kind of far from us, but anytime I went, man, I just never wanted to leave that shop.
Yeah.
It was just everything that, like, just grungy skate and just, like, the vibe
was
yeah,
on,
man.
yeah.
It's like, it was the thing, and, you know, I really glorified it, and, one of those dudes, one day, the nickname Johnny Cowabunga came about. I can't remember. My middle name's Raphael, Ninja Turtles. I think even Donatello was the one who was saying Cowabunga. It had something to do with a lot of that. I was young.
Yeah.
And, but I always wanted to be rad, dude. I wanted to be cool, you know?
Definitely,
So as long as I've had social media, Johnny Cowabunga has been the name.
Right,
know?
right.
So I'm like, well, my name's Nathaniel Raphael Ladie. That's cool. But, like, Johnny Meets World to me is the thing. Like, that sounds cool.
That does sound tough, yeah. That sounds tough.
Yeah, so, like, that's this one. And then me and Dustin kind of have one where we just talk about what, I mean, it's so toxic. It is like, this is the clean version.
No, that sounds lit, though. That sounds lit. Do you post it on YouTube or what? I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, well, so we've actually just been backlogging currently. And, all of this kind of came out. I was like, I don't really... this will probably be the first one that actually gets posted.
Sick, yeah.
I'm thinking Spotify.
Because I want to be able to do grabs of it and post it like on. I might post the full thing on YouTube and then also do like clips on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll send you the whatever, man. And yeah, that would be awesome. You know, I think,
that'd be sick.
Yeah, I would even appreciate that. Because,
dude, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude, like,
that we could tag you as well, and then you never know. I don't know. In the midst of me, before I started on like my podcast stuff, if we came up with something, if you have time, if we could do something like whether it was weekly or bi-weekly or whatever, and come up with like, even if it was shorter podcasts, like 30-minute podcasts, hour podcasts, whatever. But we came up with like certain topics to cover that we know are like super relevant that people are gonna find interesting, and we give our takes on it. And that would be a fun thing to do. I feel like
I have a mobile setup too.
Yeah.
So like all of this stuff can go anywhere. You know?
Okay, sick.
Well, not this, but I have. That's gotta stay in place. But yeah, man. Whatever.
But like, think about it. I mean, if you're willing to potentially do something like that, that'd be cool.
Sure. Dude. If anything, I'm almost too willing. That's what my wife was just yelling about.
Too willing.
Because I'm like, she's like, you're obsessed with your hobbies, and I'm like, well.
Dude, you gotta have hobbies,
man.
Got to.
Showing.
But hell yeah, brother. Dude, I do appreciate you having me on and everything like that. It was fun.
No problem at all, man. I appreciate you being here.
Hell yeah.
All right, boys. Cheers.
Peace.